Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to all of you watching us online. Welcome to the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2020 Fall Split. My name is Varun Super Johnny John. I'm going to be your host, your caster, your analyst for this entire event. And allow me to introduce my partner in crime this time around. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for no one other than Fixes. Fixes, welcome to South Asia. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling absolutely thrilled because I've heard a lot about this region and the teams that have been playing. We did see INES freestyle.
Yeah.
I think a lot of other teams are coming in from the Nepal region as well. Elementrix, all of them having the PMPL performances that they have shown up. That's amazing. I'm looking forward to the action that we will have today.
Yeah, because there is going to be a lot of action indeed, as the 32 teams that we have lined up for these group stages have been divided into 4 groups with 8 teams in each groups. Now, these teams will play 12 games each, after which only 24 teams will move forward from here towards the semi-finals, and out of those 24 teams, 11 teams will be moving on to the finals. Do you know why 11? Because 5 teams that played in the PMPL Season 1 have already gotten the invites for the finals.
Absolutely, and they deserve it. They have
Yep.
earned it, and we had seen some amazing assault coming in from the players from Nepal and Bangladesh. However, I am waiting to see how they have improvised themselves in terms of positioning.
Yeah, that is going to be important because a lot has changed definitely while the teams were trying to play in the PMPL South Asia. The other teams, the teams that did not make it the first time around in Season 1, had stayed back. They were preparing for their comeback, and this is going to be their opportunity, along with the new teams that are going to be joining them, of course. But all of this, what is this for? It's going to be for the prize pool and the slots for PMPL season. So let's just have a look as to how many teams are going to qualify from this PMCO to the PMPL season 2. It's going to be 4 slots from South Asia that are going to be given to the teams that finish in the top 4 positions, along with the prize money, of course, which for the first position is going to be $2,600. On the second position, it's going to be $1,600. Third and fourth position are going to share $1,100 each, along with the slot for PMPL Season 2. And how do teams qualify? How do they earn the money? In fact, it's going to be through points, and points system is the same, the tournament standard that we have always had. Not always, well, for a long time now though.
Yes, for a pretty long time. And if you win, if you get the first position, you're going to get 20 points. If you're placing second, you're going to get 14. And it reduces gradually. And from 11 to 16, you're just going to get that 1 point. But the best part about this points distribution is 1 kill equals 1 point.
Yeah, so that when this point system came in last year, it switched things around. It sort of made the teams be a lot more aggressive in their matchups. It forced them to still switch their strategies and figure out how they would use this point system to their advantage. And it is pretty important. You need to make an advantage for yourself in every single match, in every single map that you play. And talking about the advantages, it's the players, it's the teams who analyze the situation and break things down and end up getting the victory for themselves. So with that, let's have a look at the teams and the groups that we have lined up. So starting things off, Group A, we have PN Crew, A1 Esports, we have Wolves Den and Satan in Group A. But remember, I said every group has 8 teams. So the remaining 4 from Group A are going to be HARAME, Phantom Esports, NAVI is going to be there, and High Voltage.
Absolutely, and we will also have to take a look at teams that are going to be playing in Group B, and we start off with 1971 Gladiators, Rivals X, PWP Esports and RisingNepal. I think PN Crew was one team that I definitely recognize, being the old guards of the PUBG mobile scene in Nepal, but following them up is KS Invincibile for Archangels, T4M Officials and Kira Peace Flow. And moving on to its Group C, we find KS Axe, 999 Axe, DoyenKnightSs and AzraelGaming.
Yeah, so intensity is even there in Group C, as we have KSX returning from the last PMCO, but another 4 teams are going to be AzraelGaming, Soulz of BD, NRZ Hunters and God's Reborn. Some interesting names, some interesting players individually in these lineups, but last but not the least, Group D, we have Venom Legends, Trusty Process, Salty Squad, Thunder Yeti. But Time for the final 4 teams as well, as they are going to be 7C Esports, Abrupt Slayers, E2SOPM, Angry Springs. We're going to figure out how to pronounce that.
Absolutely, that we are going to do. But there are a few teams like TDP and Salty Squad that are very recognizable through that entire region, and even teams in Bangladesh do acknowledge them. But I'm really excited as to see what they have to offer today. Is it going to be a very aggressive style that we witness in the Pakistan region, or is it going to be position oriented? Are the teams going to play through the center, or are they going to the edges? That is always a question, and that is what makes this game so interesting.
Exactly, that's what is going to be interesting, because every single region has a different play style, and the best part about South Asia is we have teams coming in from different countries that are playing under the same region's banner. We have Nepal, we have Bangladesh, we have Sri Lanka, and we also have teams from the Maldives who played through the qualifiers. But as we are talking about some of the big names, the bigger names are already waiting for them in the final. So these teams, they better start packing their punches and holding on to everything that they have, because the fight, as soon as it starts, it's going to get more intense with every single match that you play, every single bullet that you fire in the game.
Absolutely, and you have to take those early game leads. You have to win. You have to play well in those first games, and getting a victory in the first match, that is Erangel, is definitely going to be a huge morale booster for all these teams. And then afterwards, they can go in the flow. They can manage to mess up a few games because they know they've got a good advantage and they can carry forward that momentum.
Definitely. So talking about the maps and taking early leads, let's have a look at the schedule as well and see what maps are going to be played today. Today it's going to be teams from Group A going up against teams from Group B, and the first match is going to happen on Erangel. After that, map number 2 is going to be Sanhok, map number 3 Miramar, and map number 4 is going to be Vikendi. 4 games every single day during the group stages. As I said, every single team is supposed to play 12 games in these group stages, and after those 12 games, the top 24 move on to the next stage.
Absolutely, and I'm really excited as to which these 24 teams will be and what do they have in offering, because Erangel, we do not know much about these teams, where they drop, and that is a surprise for absolutely everybody because they have not faced each other so much. So, you know, a lot of things can happen today, and I'm really excited because a few names that we have mentioned, they will be playing on the later dates, but PN Crew is definitely playing today, and all our eyes will definitely be on them.
Definitely. Even talking back, if I was supposed to bring some memories from the last PMCO 2020, that is the spring split, in round 1 in the group stage, we saw RisingNepal have an amazing performance, but it was the semi-finals where the team started to struggle, and that's when PN Gaming's performance picked up the pace really nicely. 1971 Gladiators as well, that was a team that performed phenomenally during the semi-finals, and during the finals is where the momentum started to drop. So teams have to be careful so as to not make the same mistakes that they made the last time. And the new teams that are coming in, they have to learn from the mistakes of their colleagues, basically their counterparts and their opponents right now. But they have to see what they did wrong and figure out a way around it, or they have to figure out a way how to punish that mistake if it is something that's being constantly done in the games.
Absolutely, and you know, all these players that have played earlier certainly do have a cushion today because they know how to perform under pressure, and that really matters. So all these new teams, we'll have to see if they are the prodigal teams, or are they going to just crumble or succumb to the pressure in the PMCO. So a lot of things are going to happen today, and in I think a few more minutes we are going to hit our first game as to see how things are going to shape up.
Definitely, the first matchup that is supposed to be played on Erangel is going to be started soon, and we want to know from you guys as well, what are the teams that you are looking out for? What are the people of South Asia cheering for? Which teams are representing your region, and who are your favorite players? The last time, one player that comes back to my mind from the last time is going to be Aruz from 7C. Even though the team did not make it that far into the tournament, a few iconic plays from the lad in the early stages were pretty incredible and were unforgettable. Then we should not forget the talent that's waiting for these guys up ahead as well. The players from Elementrix, the players from Mara, and all those guys from the teams that played in the PMPL Season 1. But this is a new journey. There are a lot of new faces, and there is definitely going to be the new kings of South Asia.
Absolutely, but my eyes are on TDP Shagar, who is a veteran himself, and he is definitely, as mentioned, he's playing from the trusty process, and he's a very promising player, a very good assaulter, knows how to handle pressure, and certainly can deliver good results coming in. But today is not his day because he's not playing, so we'll be seeing him tomorrow most probably, and we'll have to see how he performs. And my eyes are definitely going to be looking out for all those new players that they are going to come, and let's see who wins the first game.
Exactly. Who is going to win the first game? Who is going to walk away with the 20 points for the chicken dinner from this map and have an early start for themselves? Because this is going to be the start of Erangel, and let's have a look at the trajectory of the plane and see from where the plane path starts and from where it is going to end. And it starts from the military base, the southern side of the Sosnovka military base, and goes all the way towards the North Georgopol city.
Absolutely, and the eastern area, like you can see, is clearly, too far off for the teams to take a drop. So all those teams who had initially planned to go towards Milta, maybe towards Mansion or Yasnaya, are going to have a tough time doing so.
Yeah, that is going to be a tough fight for them, including the tough rotations. But for now, these teams are going to have to figure out a way to work around it. One more thing that I think even the players are waiting for, and we are waiting for as well, is going to be to figure out where the circle in this game actually forms. Because imagine the trajectory is sort of leaning towards the southwestern area. But what if the circle starts from a city like Yasnaya or starts somewhere in the northeastern area? That's going to spell trouble for basically everyone in this game.
Yeah, certainly. And by the looks of it, a lot of teams have opted to go towards the Sosnovka military base. We can see T4M already landing over there. And there's one team that's going towards Novorupnoy region, NAVI, going towards Ferry Pier. That's an interesting drop that we got to witness just now. But Chinky is, I think, being taken by two teams over here. And oh my god, the circle this time on the western side. We have seen the circle time and again, but something that we really cannot predict is where it is going to end.
I mean, we have seen this one. Usually, majority of the time, this ends up going towards the Gatka query area. And that is usually the circles. Whenever it goes towards the Gatka area, the game ends up being like a slow-paced game. This feels different because we have a clash starting off with Navi going up against the squad of Satan, and this fight is going to take place close to the Ferry Pier area. The players from Satan, they are split up, so Navi is going to have an advantage in the early engagement, but that is the question. Will they go for the early engagement, or are they just going to hold their horses and keep their calm down?
If you talk about Team PN, they have gone up north, so they don't have basically much to worry about. But yes, Navi versus Team Satan. If you look at the positioning, Satan can still pull a few strings off their belt and can take down Shino if he deliberately commits a mistake. But that is not the case over here, as Shino is just focusing on his loot, and that is exactly what all these players have to do. They are inside the circle. They do not have much to worry about. But certainly one thing is that definitely must be concerning them is taking a vehicle, and when Team Satan and Team Navi are going to compete for it, we'll have to see what really happens.
Yeah, we are still waiting. I mean, the players from Satan, they have made a really smart decision to wait for the backup to arrive, but Psycho, in a little while, lad, you are going to be in trouble, because look at the minimap. 2 players from Navi in front of them, 2 players right behind him. These players, they have been sandwiched.
But how do you break this sandwich? You have to isolate your enemies. If Psycho and Alan get a proper cover fire from their teammates, if the teammates join them and they decide to target one area, so then I think the favors will definitely come down towards Team Satan. But if they kind of halt the entire process, if they do nothing about it, I'm pretty sure Team Navi is going to sandwich them from both the sides, and that will be an easy team wipe on pen and paper.
Yeah, on pen and paper.
Yes.
That I think has to be the
Had
key
to be
word.
specific about it.
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, that's the thing. Every single call that you have in the game, it's not like it has a 100% success rate or a 100% failure rate. It has a probability. Either you can succeed or either you will fail. But you won't know until you actually go ahead and try this. And I think Satan, they've actually managed to chase away the players from Navi, because you do see them rotating out of position after some damage was traded between Psycho and Kill Me, who was out in the open close to the watchtower behind the backlines. And it seems like an interesting situation. Navi making the smart decision, going for the placement points and not really wanting to sacrifice anything just for a few kills in the early game.
I think they are just trying to surround Team Satan. And Psycho has definitely taken a lot of damage over there. And I'm starting to wonder if he has any kind of healing. But Satan Zod, look at him. He has spotted down Escanor. And any moment, if that one shot really connects, then that is going to be one knock for Team Navi. And they will have to instantly change things down. But I still am waiting to see as to which team will be making the first move. Shots have been fired from either of both the sides. And no one is really worried as of now. But, like I said, if nothing really happens, then I guess Navi will definitely have the upper hand. But we can see Psycho taking a few shots onto it, Kill Me. We will have to see as to how this entire fight erupts.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait for the fight to start. But until then, these players are just going to lie in the middle of nowhere. So we're just going to talk about the circle and how things are going for the other teams. PN Gaming, they drop down all the way towards Severny. That's on the northern edge of the circle. They're going to have an easy entry and not much to worry about until they decide where they want to rotate from. Are they going to take the Rozhok entrance to the main island, or are they going to go through Georgopol City, the North Georgopol City and the Georgopol City, and then make their way towards the center of the circle? Talking about the southern side of things, A1 Esports, they are towards Nova Repnoy Containers. The only team that stands in the way as they are crossing is going to be RisingNepal, who are currently holding out on towards Milta City. There's another team on the military island, that's T4M, but they will have to be careful as 1971 Gladiators look to be closing in towards the military bridge area.
But that's still going to be a question as to whether there will be a military bridge camp, because by the looks of it, I don't think that's going to happen, because 1971 will definitely prioritize the circle and try to get towards the Gatka area as quick as possible, because when the second circle kicks in, all the teams are inside the circle and they will be searching for good areas to, good compounds, in fact, to take to capitalize and then take the fights. But right now, we have team number 15. That is PWP, who have, taken the control over the Gatka main compounds, and they're looking for good, really. But imagine, Johnny, if the circle shifts on towards the northern side, goes towards Everest, that would be really, really interesting.
Oh yes, that is going to be interesting. I mean, it's been a while since we have seen an Everest Circle, and Everest Circles are always interesting. I mean, we did get to see one during the World League, but not during the PMCOs, the PMPL. There was like the circles were usually sticking to those standard locations, wherein you will have either the eastern side of things or the center. PMPL was more about the military base apparently during the finals, but Everest Circle, it is going to be an intense one, because Everest, it is really, really wide. You can climb it, but taking control, holding on to it is where it gets tricky.
Certainly it does, but by the looks of it, Team HV doesn't have really anything to worry about.
Yeah.
They have landed beside the school apartments, and they are in the apartments, in fact, I'm sorry. But look at them. They are just chilling around. They have their loot. They have those utilities. They have those level 3 armors coming in. But if you talk about Team Wolves, they have landed in Rozhok. They are also looting uncontested and have gotten the entire loot of Rozhok. I just want to see as to when these teams are going to make their move inside the circle, because usually first circle is for the teams to just loot around, and by the time second or third circle comes in, teams start making their predictions, start trying to go for the center of the zone. But right now, as we can see, as we have already told, Gatka is the area that all these teams are hoping that the circle would end.
Yeah, that's why you see already teams moving in towards that direction. The clusters are starting to form. Already 3 teams have taken control of Gatka area for themselves. And even Gatka becomes tricky because you have these wide open areas with those few houses. And if you are a little bit late with your rotations, you will have to fight things out in the open with multiple directions. And that is one of the hardest things you will find, one of the hardest situations you will find yourselves in this game. But we have the second circle in front of us, and it looks like it is going to be Gatka area unless it makes a drastic shift towards the northern part, and the game decides, all right, you guys are gonna fight for Everest.
I mean, imagine, Johnny, if the circle shifts towards Quarry throws a curveball. Because it's been a long time that we have casted a Quarry circle. In fact, the entirety of the World League that we did not get to see a single Quarry circle. And Quarry has a lot to offer. But talking about things to offer, we see DBS being the first airdrop, a certain weapon that is hated by a lot of competitive players and even by everybody. Apparently, I have only seen Lux using that, and boy oh boy had he delivered.
That was once.
That was once, yeah.
He got one knock, and even that because his teammates also had surrounded the lad that was being shot at with the DBS. And yes, I mean, it is an okay weapon if you're close range, but later on in the game, especially when you're going for the airdrop, you're taking such a big risk. Just getting a DBS out of it is not much. You need a little bit more. I mean, that's why people usually end up picking up the Grozas, the AUGs, the AWMs, and all those good things. But DBS, we hardly ever see that in action. Players usually just end up sticking with their assault rifles that they have.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they did not want to, mess up their muscle memory, the kind of recoil control that they have had on their M4s. We are seeing a rise in the usage of Scar L in the recent meta. A lot of players opting for that. And the reason I must tell you, because the way the weapon recoil sways. So if you shoot the first bullet onto its chest, the second and the third go directly towards the head. So these are, the small nitpickings that these players do understand and realize, and they definitely capitalize on it and do deliver. But right now we see a fight happening over here as HV goes on towards Team P and Sandesh getting taken down and will be finished off before he even realizes that. But Abhishek does want to take revenge of his fallen teammate, but they do realize that it's too late, and now they've started to make their move.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate. Sandesh being caught off guard. He should have had a fighting opportunity, but High Voltage just living up to the name, the intensity in which the fight happened, that was really fast. They get the kill, and now they get out. It's going to be time to rotate as the blue zone is coming in, and these guys are going to be following the route led by the players of PN Gaming, who have made their way towards Ruins area. And it looks like the players from High Voltage, they are going to come in another contact with another squad, that is KS Invincibile. That is right up in front of them, as you can see on the map as well. But look at this. 1971 Gladiators, Nightwing fixes. Look at his position.
I mean, he knows his area. He knows how he has to make those maneuvers in. But right now, the second circle is going to close in. And there you go. The western area of Gatka, where Team Kira certainly has a very good compound and a certain good advantage. It's at a high cliff, so all the teams have to kind of surround him. But right now, we see a lot of cluster of teams coming in from the eastern side. So that is definitely going to be a hot area as the teams will be battling it out amongst themselves. And what do we see? Insane, really hitting his car hard and taking quite a couple of damage.
But that was a good move. Like, he got the shot, he did trade damage, but he got out as well. And that was incredible, but now he's going to have to be careful. His teammates are getting in position for this engagement as they move in towards the circle. And still 13 minutes in, 62 players alive. A1 Esports finally starting to take the fights, and it is an important one, as well as the drop down a player from the squad of HARAME and get the finish as well. IR2 has been taken down, but HARAME, they are fighting back against A1. Sinister goes down, the 4 players. GD, he spots out another one, barely missing his shots, and the shots were fired on Shots, who he left with just a few inches of health. Drops down another one, but couldn't get the third. And the Scar L is the gun that he was using. Steel shot, somehow getting his team out of a really tough situation. Fair, he did get a finish as well, and A1 Esports, they come out on top in this fight with 3 kills to their name.
Absolutely, A1 Esports are looking really promising. They have definitely managed to revive their fallen comrades, but right now T4M Insane is in a lot of trouble as he senses team rival right in front of him. But PN, Anish, he's been taken down. Even Avishek, Ayush does retaliate back with a grenade, and Ayush is definitely finishing down players of Team Whoop. So that is a fight that is happening somewhere else across the map. And here we see the fight. Clutch really trying to clutch it in for his team, and he blows up the vehicle and resulting into the entire team wipe. Is it?
Yeah, that was a team wipe because Ayush was the last man left standing. Anish and Sandesh had already been finished a while earlier. Afsak was knocked down close to the car, and Ayush, he thought he could go in and charge and fight against Clutch, but Clutch just being smart enough and blowing up the vehicle just to create a slight advantage. On the other side, 1971 Gladiators, even they looked to be in trouble as Seinstro was taken down from the side, and that just leaves the team with 2 people alive. That's going to be Ryan and Nightwing.
That certainly will, and Wolves, like we can see, they're just chilling around. They know they're inside the circles. They've not got anything to worry about. But Navi, Wrath, Escanor, Shino, and Kilma, they are struggling to get inside the circle. This was the problem that I was talking about, the lack of vehicles to try to make inside the circle. Even if they do, I'm pretty sure some other team is gonna be waiting for them. But A1 Esports, Shoykota finding down another member and does eliminate a squad. I believe, I think that was Team Harame.
Yeah, Harame, they had just 1 player alive. That was Private 7, and he was taken out as well. So down to 14 teams, 51 players alive in this game, and in a matter of seconds, we are going to have our 5th circle, as well as the blue zone is going to start closing in and just create a havoc for these teams, because now they are going to be forced to play a little bit closer. Navi Escanor is going to be taken out of the game as well, and A1 Esports right now on our screens just trying to find a way, trying to find a better position for themselves inside the circle right now.
Certainly, and like we can see, team number 8, that is Team Satan, they're looking good. They have had their players in a 3-1 split. They've got nothing much to worry about. But look at Escanor getting taken down from the circle and surely facing a lot of problems due to the lack of vehicles. The mobility has been sort of been stopped over here. But look at the observatory tower. We do have players from team number 10 and they're doing good. They're positioned well, but just below them we have Team HV Assassin and his team. They are in a promising position as well, but we have to see as to where the circle is going around, because Team Archangel, we can see Nohan at the far fray. He is going to come in any moment, and maybe team number 12 can get sandwiched if Team PT does decide to move in on an aggressive stance, have the high ground to their favor, and take a few shots. But that is really not possible, because if they leave their cover, they are exposing themselves to fights from other areas. Certainly something that they cannot afford right now.
Yeah, it is something they can't afford, but it is something that they will have to deal with. In the meanwhile, Dalion is going to be taken down as the team starts fighting against Navi, Navi are fighting T4 on the other side, but this circle is out in the open. All of them are going to have to be careful. A lot of fights happening. RisingNepal, they're going to be in trouble, but T4M Dominator is going to start dropping the players from Navi as they're going to be down to a 2-man squad. The finishes have been confirmed as well. Even 1971 Gladiators, their numbers have dwindled down to just 2 people. Navi losing another lad, just last man surviving, and I think it is time for the squad to take an exit from the game.
Certainly that it is, because the circle is also closing down as well. As the fifth circle will appear, a lot of fights will start breaking down. 48 players are still alive, 14 teams still breathing down, and team rivals, look at them. But in the meanwhile, Chain takes down Thunder, and we will have to see where that fight has occurred. But right now, one team certainly is enjoying the game, has to be Team A1 Esports. Steel Shot lobbing his grenade, cooking it down, and will be throwing it. Will it be a slam dunk? Not yet, but still trouble in paradise for Team PWP as they are struggling over here. They are not spreading out, but A1E Sinister does get a knock onto its boy Hang and will instantly finish him off. And we will have to see as the fighter commences, as the fighter resumes, who else will be picked off. But Steel Shot, as you can see, spraying down bullets from his barrel, but gets taken down by DaLeon.
Yeah, so these are the guys who used to play as well a while ago. DaLeon, I remember he used to play for the squad of Hype, if I'm not wrong, during the last PMCO, and really deadly player. Going up against the players of A1 Esports, SK49 is going to bleed out to death. So is DaLeon, as the team has been told to fall back and move into the circle. There is no way these men can fight against A1 right now. Steel Shot, he has gotten a revive, and now the other players are just going to look to confirm the kills for themselves. Fear, he gets his, but on the other side, you will have to start to move in towards the circle. PWP, they are going to be in some trouble because Shari, he's the only man left standing, and he is just going to have to hold his head down for as long as he can.
Certainly he has to, but A1 Esports, they're looking really strong. They've got so many kills. But look at Team Wolves. They are taking down players of Team PWP, and the last member has also been taken down with that. The squad really wiping out the dust. But Trigger, he takes down members of Team Kira. Shane goes down as Miner is on his own killing spree. Satan Psycho has been knocked down by Team KS. But there is this one team that's still holding down the observatory towers. That is Phantom Esports, but Frankie does respond in time as he will be trading off a few knocks. We can see the fight happening just below the waters, and like you can see, Tokle has come in real close. He wants to use the car. He is baiting out his opponents. He has baited out his smoke and now is going in for the rest. He's got his teammate right on the flank position from the right hand side. But we will have to see if the push comes in from the opponents. And Kira, they've managed to revive their players. But Satan Psycho, he is still knocked down. And he is definitely pushing in to finish off and get those kills. But right now, he's got a whole squad right in front of him. Tokle will be making the move inside the circle. As we can see, the circle taking a very interesting turn, and he has come down to safety.
Yeah, the safety is definitely going to be there for the player, but only for a little while as teams have started to take their position inside this circle. Satan, Frankie needs to be careful, has a few teams to his left, one right in front of him, behind the smoke to his right, and he has to take this fight against the players of KSX. It's going to be an interesting one. Utility usage is going to be important. As you can see, the players of KSX are lining up the nades, trying to stop any sort of a push coming in from the side of Satan. That's a three-man squad, and C Minor, he is trying to see if he can actually get some sort of a position, some sort of an open. But alright, it was KS Invincibile actually, and they do end up getting taken down by the players of Satan.
Certainly. And Satan, Frankie barely just, getting into cover in the nick of time. He definitely got knocked, but we have to see if there is some certain overcommitment from the opponents out there who knocked him. But right now, Rivals Trigger in a very good position, has spotted down players from Team RN, and any moment he will be taking few shots. RisingNepal, they've held their ground, but Sinister taking down players of Team HV. OZ has been taken down, but Team RN is continuing that trashing as they've taken few players down from the other sides as well. But looking at the circle, team number 14, that is Team Rivals, is in a very strong position alongside team number 10, that is Phantom Esports. But now Phantom has to, try and get those precious kills as Trigger, using his Trigger discipline, getting a few knocks.
On the other side, A1 Esports, they just blew up on Squad of High Voltage, and it was an amazing play. Looking at the kill feed, it was Sinister with a Groza, gets 2 knocks, which is over to the M4 and finishes off the players. But now we have squad number 10 that is fighting this one out. Can use the throwables.
Absolutely. We just saw Frypin taking down 2 members with 1 single pre-nade. I mean, that is some good IQ plays coming out from Team Phantom Esports as they have held on to the observatory tower. And that is certainly looking as to where the circle will conclude. But right now, Team A1 Esports, they have to be playing their cards really, really well. Because if they do not, they're going to meet their makers pretty soon.
Definitely Steel Shot and his teammate, they are in a bad position. But here comes Sinister, the man with the big guns, and he is going for the revives right now. Squad number 10, they have to be really, really careful. It is Phantom Esports, and they are trying to slow things down. Fear is going to be finished off along with his teammate. Seal Shot by Levy from Phantom Esports. That's going to leave Sinister in a bad situation. He does not have anything to cover his backs. It's just the house that the players from Phantom Esports are hiding in that's sort of protecting him for a little while. But Kira Kure, he's going to be taken down as he goes on to face the players of Satan, and he just ran in there. No thoughts, no cover, just ran in, run and gun, and was taken down.
Sinister still surviving just underneath the players of Team Phantom Esports, but look at Shoykot. He's got a good angle, but that buggy definitely will be, raising questions as to who is behind that. But look at Shoykot. He does not worry. He does not care. His vest is pretty much damaged, but there you see another airdrop coming in. And Phantom Esports really in their comfort zone. They know they do not have to move anywhere, but in the meanwhile, Frankie takes 1 player down as Boom Twice definitely will be getting whatever is inside the airdrop alongside the level 3 helmet and the vest. But Team Rivals right now, Mr. Burrow, they have all their 4 players intact, have dropped in the smokes. That's a very good move, and they have to get enter inside the circle. We just have to see as Boom Twice does have an MK14, but will he dish out some massive damage with it?
Yeah, the damage is definitely going to come in, but the problem is, how do you face a player who has a player on the flank and Sinister is going to be in front of you as Steel Shot takes down the players of Phantom Esports who got a little bit too greedy for the kill of Sinister. Lemmy does get it eventually, but they lose a teammate in the process. And now we are down to 14 players alive in this game, almost at the closing moment. Boom Twice, he did get an upgrade from that airdrop, and it's going to be an incredible one as well.
Certainly is, but he is spraying down with his MK14. I really thought he'll be going for those stab fires, and that should have really connected. But looking at team number 18, they are in a bit of pickle right now because Team High Voltage has spotted him out. But right now, Frypan will be spotting down Shoykot, takes a few shots at him. But now, Team Phantom Esports definitely will be looking to commit. But right now, 4R Clutch is lobbing those grenades down. But there you go, Team Satan in the blink of an eye getting eliminated.
Yeah, they had an incredible start, and A1 Esports is going to be taken down as well out of this game as Killshot, the last player surviving, is going to be finished off. 4 teams, 8 players surviving, out of which 2 players are just stuck in a weird situation where they are going to have to climb up that high ground to get a position for themselves. Also, the player from High Voltage, Havoc, he's just holding his ground. He's just waiting for these 2 guys to mess up a little bit so he can take them out.
Maybe he's just waiting for the player on the bottom to just try to go upstairs, and he is going to take a backstab at them, and they're utilizing the smoke in their favor. But I do not know if they've spotted or if they are oblivious of the fact that Havoc is present over there. But certainly 4 teams are remaining right now, 8 players alive, and look at Team Phantom just down to that 1 guy, and that is Frypan. But the team that is looking actually really strong is going to be Team Rivals with all their 4 players intact.
Yeah, that is just going to give them a massive advantage in that final fight. But they will have to also figure out where the remaining players are and finish them off, unless if the situation does not turn out in their favor. Because we have seen the teams with the man advantage, if they get isolated and give individual fights to these teams, they do end up losing a few players on their own side, and that just ends up giving the advantage to the other side to get the chicken dinner. But for our Clutch, he is still going to try and find a way to clutch this fight out. We have seen this lad in action. Havoc goes for the fight, dishes out the damage on Boom Twice, drops him down to barely dead HP, And here comes the knock. The guy with the MK has been taken down by Clutch. He is close. The AK switches over to the M4. Is going to try and find his opponent around the rock. And he goes for the finish instead. Havok just securing the kill point for his team. On the other side, Rivals X, they come in and they clean up. Just one pan. Frypan was the only man left standing, as he is also going to be finished off. And Rivals X taking the chicken dinner in the very first game.
Absolutely, and they had all 4 of their players alive, and that was a good decision in the last moment finish, because he knew that he's going to die. There's a whole squad literally swarming in front of him, and ensuring that final kill that he will secure certainly did earn him a point, and maybe that will be changing things on the leaderboard.
Yeah, he could have gotten 2 had he gone for the fight, but that would have been a 50-50. That 1 point in front of him was 100% his either way. But he went for the safer play over there, which is quite good. As we look at the standings for this game, we're gonna see how many points in total did he get exactly, because having an early Fixes was talking about this when we started. Having a good start gives you a good momentum in the entire tournament, and since the teams are not going to be playing tomorrow, it's going to set up how they finish this day as well.
Absolutely. Team Rivals, Team A1 Esports and Team Phantom. These 3 are the teams that really impressed me with so many kills. And on the disappointing side, I really felt Team PN could have done better. They were being just caught during the rotations. They could not make those movements in. There are some, unwanted fights, but this was a very unique circle that we got to see. And, Team Phantom was looking strong initially, as they were, clobbering down players of A1 Esports as well. But somewhere, so many fights were happening, and they were in the center of attention that 3 of their players died. But despite that fact, one player, that was Frypan, survived till the end and got a 2nd position for his team.
Yeah, along with those teams, I'm really impressed with the performance from A1 Esports, because this team, the last time we saw them, when me and Ocean used to cast the PMCO Spring Split, it was all about the slow-paced gameplay. But now, the way Sinister has been playing, it feels like it's all about aggression. They're constantly going for those fights, wherein even in situations when they are not supposed to charge in, like the 2v4 that they tried to force in the observatory. But that situation did get out of hand. They did get punished for that. That was the game. Let's have a look at the MVP from match number 1 and see who it is going to be, which is the player that takes the MVP in the very first game. And it is going to be Trigger with 4 kills, 626 damage, 26 minute, 55 second survival time, and a distance covered of 6.18.
Yes, certainly, and will have to be the winning team. They kept all their 4 players intact, managed to get those 4 kills, and the Team Rivals, just stepping below the shadows where nobody could see them coming. They made sure that they kept every single player alive, while Phantom was in the center of attention. Like I mentioned, they just cleared everything from the edges and got themselves a chicken dinner. Yeah,
that was an incredible performance coming in from Rivals, and exactly as you said, just keeping their heads down low during the early stages, while Phantom was fighting basically everyone they saw. And that resulted in Phantom just losing their own players early on in the game. Not early on, I mean, they did take a late exit, but them losing out on players before they could head in towards the final circle, handing the advantage over to the squad of Rivals X. But Rivals X did get a lot of kills for themselves as well towards the closing moments. I expected that final charge in to come in a lot sooner, but still, I mean, it made sense as well, because the other players were hiding their positions.
Yes, certainly they were. The circle that had, shaped up had a, it was a kind of a plateau where the observatory tower was in the center, but the last moment shift caused everything to change, because till then Phantom Esports were holding on to all of their players, and suddenly when they had to make that move, they had to make a move inside the circle. There was Team A1's Shoykot, who was just behind, and Frypan had spotted him, but shots were coming in from different directions, and their players were going down and down. But we will have to take a look onto its standings as to see which team took the highest kills, and I think that will certainly have to be A1 Esports. But Rivals X taking the chicken dinner in this one, alongside 10 kills, earning them 30 points from the first match itself. A1 Esports definitely on the 2nd position, courtesy to those 12 kills that they have been getting throughout the match. Phantom, like we said, held on to the center, got quite a couple of kills. I'm pretty sure the damage must be above the roof.
Yeah, damage has to be coming in pretty good for them. But A1 Esports, this is what I was talking about. An early exit coming in for them, but still the 12 kills, an incredible performance for Archangels. Look at them. 10 placement points, 3 kills, a decent performance coming in. But the huge chunk of points that Rivals X took from the very first game is definitely going to give them an advantage in the matches coming forward.
Yes, certainly. And taking a look at the bottom half of the table, HARAME, PWP Esports, RisingNepal, PN Crew. These are the teams that have had a rather shallow outing, and they need to really step up, because today they've just got 3 games, and after today's games they'll be just having 8 games in total. So you need to make sure that you're in the top half of the table, because 24 teams are going to qualify. So if they do not, if they're kind of being inconsistent or not performing in the latter games, they're going to be in a lot of trouble and might face elimination as well.
Well, we're going to have to see how things go for these teams, because this is just the beginning. That was just the first game of the very first day of the PMCO 2020 fall split, and it is going to be an interesting journey as we move on from the group stages to the semi-finals to the actual finals, from where we will have the teams moving forward towards the PMPL season 2.
Yes, certainly. And like today, I was really impressed to see a few teams going very aggressive, like A1 Esports. Like you said, that experience does come into handy. You know when to engage, you know when to disengage, the good fights, the bad fights. You need to know which fight you need to take, and you just cannot see a team and just go charging in. You have to consider the position you are in, and suppose even if you're pushing, you must analyze, if my push goes right, if I wipe down that squad, am I in a good position after that? And a lot of factors are supposed to be taken, so IGLs have to be on their toes at every single second of the game.
Yeah, they have to be on their toes, and not just in the game, it has to be outside of the game as well, because let's say before starting the match you're thinking about the game, after the game is done you're thinking about the next one and what happened in the previous one. So it's a really stressful position to be in, but it is all worthwhile once these players move forward for the PMPL season 2. From where on out, teams will be fighting to qualify for the next upcoming tournaments that are going to happen, and it is an intense journey. We have a lot of big names playing in, especially it was so awesome to see Dalion step back into action along with his players SK49 and Chari. The first game did not really go their way, but the second one coming up is going to be Sanhok, so it is going to be an interesting one as well, because that is a fast-paced game. Yes,
in fact, talking about Dalion, I believe the real the guy from Hype is playing in America. Maybe might be a different Dalion. So new players, new talents have come up, definitely with the same name, however.
We definitely have new talents in here as well, and I guess we're gonna see those new talents in Sanhok in a little while. We're gonna head out for a short break. You guys stay tuned and keep watching. We'll be right back. Hello everyone, and once again welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2020 Fall Split. My name is Warren Super Johnny John. We're going to be heading into the second game of the day, which is going to be played on the map of Sanhok. And joining me this time around, it's going to be a new guest. It's going to be a new face. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Phoenix. So, how are you doing? This
Thanks
is
a lot, Johnny, for the introduction, and I'm very excited because I'm doing casting on a big stage and I'm doing PUBG Mobile PMCO Club Open 2020 South Asia. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it is something to be excited about for. I mean, me and Fixes were talking about watching new faces in the game, but we have a new face with us as well. And in a little while, we're going to be jumping into the action, as I said, on the map of Sanhok, talking about how Erangel went. It was an intense matchup with Rivals X, just getting the chicken dinner for themselves. But that was a slow-paced game that we saw from some of the team. I mean, from some of the teams, apart from A1 Esports, who apparently were hell-bent on destruction. But anyways, Sanhok is going to be aggressive for everyone.
Yeah, Sanhok is a very fast game, and we saw that there's snakes as well. Yeah. And if we talk about the team A1 Esports, they showed the domination. They have 12 kills, and which is a very nice gameplay we saw from him. But Rivals X got the chicken dinner, and Phantom got the second position. If they got the second position, maybe they got the chicken dinner as well.
Yeah, they can get the chicken dinner for themselves. And as you pointed out, A1 Esports, aggression is not going to cut it. You have to be able to find those chicken dinners along with those kill points that you're getting, and you have to do that consistently. If you miss up even once, there can be a team who is always getting those consistent finishes within the top 3, within the top 2, with less number of kills than you, but they will definitely take you over, because points is where it all matters. The leaderboard is where things change, and the leaderboard is from where the top 24 teams will move on to the semi-finals.
Yeah, obviously, and the kill points are also important, because for each kill you got a single point, and that can be lead to top on the table. As we can see on the A1, they showed a nice gameplay. And if I talk about Wolves Den, they show a 200 IQ gameplay. When they got stuck, one player got knocked out, only one player is surviving. And if we talk, they just blasted a car and eliminated the team. That was a really sneaky play from Wolfsden's side.
Yeah, it was Clutch who actually ended up wiping out an entire team over there. It was a 2 versus 2 scenario. It came down to a 1v1 situation, and Clutch was the man who was left out to basically clutch the entire situation in his favor, which he actually did. The team did end up having a really good standing in the game based on the placement points, because the other 2 players, they went in full survival mode after that.
Yeah, obviously, and I just have to throw light on Team Satan and Team NAVI. They have the same dropping point in Erangel. Maybe they have got a same dropping point in Sanhok as well. Maybe they got, and we are just going to saw early fight as well. And maybe Team Satan got just fall back in that fight, which is going to be, which favors them because they got a high placement point.
Yeah, I mean, that can definitely happen, because we were talking about drop locations clashing in Erangel. We got to see them from even multiple teams. If you're talking about George Pool City as well, even there we saw 2 teams who somehow avoided the fight in the early stages. But on Erangel, those drop locations clashing ends up becoming a little bit more prominent, because places like Paradise Resort, places like Boot Camp, places like Painan, we know when clusters form over there, be it just 2 teams, fights are gonna get started.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm just looking forward to the game. And if I talk about Boot Camp, is one of the favorite places of most of the teams in India region. Orange Rock and Fnatic goes there, and you get a high amount of loot as well.
Yeah, talking about the game is actually live, and we're gonna have the trajectory of the plane in front of us right now, which is starting from the southwestern edge, the southern side of Nakham, and is gonna head all the way towards Camp Bravo. So a southern side trajectory in a few seconds. In a few seconds, we are gonna have the circle as well. That's gonna decide how much trouble the teams on the southern edge are gonna be, because as you look over towards the side of Shami, already 2 teams.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe there's a cluster in Sami, and let's see who is going to survive there. And here we can see Satan and T4M are there. They're just going to have a fight, an early fight, and Navi are there separated towards there, just towards maybe Ruin side. And let's see what is going to happen. And I'm just focusing on Boot Camp. Here, 2 teams are there inside the Boot Camp.
Yeah, two teams in boot camp is going to result in early fights happening over there as well. Rivals X, the last game was a chicken dinner for them, but this one can be taken away because they have been surrounded by the squad of Kira. And that can spell some trouble if you're looking to get out of boot camp. But the way the circle is right now, they don't need to do that. They can just hold on to their position. And this is what we were talking about. So this is the city of Shami, where the players of T4M have actually just landed with the players from squad Satan, and these two teams can end up fighting as soon as they spot each one out. They know that the opponents are here. They're just waiting to see if they can catch someone off guard. And Alan, we can see them. He has the M4 in his hand, a good weapon for the early game fights, along with the 3X.
Yeah, that's true. And if we look at Sami, there's a huge amount of compounds which we can have loot, and good amount of loot you can stay there. But Satan are again going to have an early fight. And we talk about the Erangel match, they also have an early fight with Team Navi, and here they are going to have an early fight with T4M. And if we talk about maybe Satan having a split, one player is on the ridge, scouting from there and giving the locations of player of two T4M.
Yeah, the location is going to be given away, but you have to be careful with that. Right now, these teams, I think in the early stages, you have to be careful. You can't just get too greedy for a few kills and just lose your own numbers, because that actually impacts your performance in the later stages of the game. And here it is, the man, the myth, the legend from the last PMCO, SK49.
Yeah, PWT is a very nice team, and if we talk about, they are just looted from the boot camp and just moving towards maybe Painan from there, and they're having a 2+2 split. Maybe they're just going to have an advantage of this, or maybe disadvantage, because if you lose two players in an early stage, that is going to cost you in the final circles.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be the case, because 2-2 splits, any sort of a split has its own advantage and a disadvantage. 2-2 usually gives you, it cuts down your firepower in the gunfights, but it gives you the option of survivability. If one set of players is caught off guard, they can either try to get some points for themselves by getting the finish, or if they get wiped out, the other two players, they can go for the survival points in the game and just try and see if they can get a high amount of placement points. But we still have some time before the blue zone is going to close in, and the players are actually just forced to go at it amongst themselves in this game.
Absolutely. Most of the teams are inside the zone. Maybe 2 or 3 teams are outside the zone. They have to come inside the zone.
Yeah.
But if we talk about rivals and team number 20, they are very close to each other. Can we see an early fight or not?
So that is definitely going to be the question. I mean, we do have the players from Kira in front of us. They're still looting, still trying to find those weapons. They have the weapons. I think the thing they are looking for is going to be the helmets and the armor, as we have Don Dai in front of us with the level 1 kit on him. And that is not really going to do that much for you, even if it's the early stages of the game. You definitely need to go for those level 3s and those level 2 kits on yourself. But high voltage, we did see them in intense action on Erangel, and right now they are trying to spot out the players of 4
4 Archangels are just camping the bridge from the Camp Alpha side, and team number 12 high voltage players are coming from there. And if we talk about Dizzy, high voltage is on a 3+1 split. Dizzy is on a very far away from their teammates. What he's doing, maybe he's looting, getting some loots and collecting some data as well, that there is no team in front of him, and maybe he's just going to give cover out. Maybe he's just going to come from the river side, which is very unexpected for 4 Archangels.
Well, there are multiple possibilities as to what the lad is up to, but this is definitely not a situation that high voltage, the players from high voltage want to find it out whether splitting up from Dizzy is going to give them an advantage, and this is going to be a troublesome situation as Havoc, he's in the waters. There are players from Navi right in front of him. As soon as he comes out, he's going to be spotted out, and Wrath, I think he knows where Havoc is. Yes, he does. Goes for the shots, gets the knock and the finish, and there goes the first player out of this game.
Finally, the Navi got a first kill in the early stages. This is going to be beneficial for them because kill points are also important for them. And if we see the players are in a split formation, this is going to help because Navi Wrath spotted a player of team number 12 high voltage. They are just down on 3 members. They are moving towards team number 7. Maybe team number 7 are going to be unbreakable because they are in the water maybe.
Yeah, but look at this. Wolves Den, they are closing on the players of Navi, and as you said, the split that Navi had is going to allow them, is going to give them the element of surprise on the players of Wolves Den. Ironic, his health is already low. Wrath and Shino, they can sandwich this individual player. That is ironic as soon as he lands on towards the board, and I think Shino, he has already spotted him out. But it is... Ironic is right next to him, and they have decided, the players from Wolves Den have decided to avoid the shore entirely, which is a good decision. But you have been inside of water for a long time, and that tick damage that you get after you run out of breath, it's starting to affect the players of Wolves Den now.
Yeah, that's true, because after the supply of oxygen got extended, you got every 5 damage after when you didn't breathe. And if you look forward towards the first airdrop, you got MK14 with 60 bullet of 7.62 and level 3 helmet plus vest. Let's see who is just going to take that airdrop. And if you got MK14, it has a very high damage in auto, and you can use in single as well. This is very amazing gun. If anyone takes, let's see who's going to take MK14.
Yeah, as the previous caster and a friend of ours, Ocean, likes to call it the demon with 2 faces. So I think that is a perfect name, because the gun is in fact scary to face up against, but Clutch and Ironic, they are trying to find their way on towards the show. This entire water rotation, it was risky business from the very get-go, and it is definitely not going to pay off. Clutch, he is so close to getting kicked out. There is a piece of land right there in the middle of the cliff. He can go there, heal up, and then start his journey again. But it's so much time being taken away from these players that could have been spent on doing other things, like finding better equipment, getting a few kills for themselves, rotating on land. Multiple number of possibilities, but for now, the cluster of the teams has formed towards the Ruins Island.
Yeah, that's true. And still Navi players are trying to find some players. If we look at team number 18 and team number 11 are kind of close. And if we talk team number 9, which is HARAME and Rivals, they are also very close. Rivals are just on the pine, and maybe they spot team number 9 players. And if they knock a single player, this is going to be very difficult for team number 9, because if you lost a single player in early stages, final zone, you're going to have a big trouble. And team number 5 are also moving. There's no team coming towards them, because they have a boot camp side bridge, and let's see what is going to happen.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what is going to happen. And PN Gaming, as you said, the edge, in fact, of the Ruins Island that they're on, they're going to be in a comfortable position for now. But later on in the game, when the circle moves away from them, that's when they're going to have to decide how they want to play things out. Another team that's in an interesting position, it's going to be PWP, still sort of clustered on bootcamp area. Even 1971 Gladiators, they are refusing to leave the Paradise Resort, even though it's outside the circle. They're spending as much time as they can over there. Here comes the second airdrop with the MK14, the demon with 2 faces, and the cheek pad for the snipers, along with the level 3 kit.
Yeah, that's true. And if we look forward towards the A1 Esports, they are still moving inside the circle. There's no team to convince them. And let's see what is going to happen. If we talk about Wolves, then they are moving from the water. They can backstab team number 8, which is team Satan, and if they got backstab, maybe they are going to get eliminated as well. And if we look forward to team number 17, they are also moving inside the zone. They are inside the zone. Let's have a look. And here's we got the second zone. Most of the team are inside the zone. Only team A1 Esports and 1971, they just want to move inside the zone because they are out of the zone.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be their objective, to move inside the zone. 1971 Gladiators and A1 Esports, although the distance that they have to cover is going to be a long one. Just like the squad of Wolves Den, I wonder if the players have made it on towards land, and if they do, where will they land? Because they just somehow managed to avoid the squad of Navi. Now, the place where the players are positioned, that's where the squad of Satan is actually holding out. But on the other side, M-Cop Ryan actually goes on domination, I think. And A squad just taking an exit. All right. So we still have 16 teams. We still have 63 players alive. Apart from the very first kill inside the game, nothing has happened.
Yeah, that's true. And if you talk about team number 12, high voltage, they are still there. And rivals, they are searching for a good place. They left the Painan area and they're just moving inside the zone. They just want the middle compounds inside the zone so they can be more safe, because zone shifting is one of the most crucial things in Sanhok, because you just have to move inside the zone while taking the fights, and the zone damage is also getting high after the zone is going to be increases.
Yeah, definitely, and that does cause a lot of trouble for the players. Rivals X Trigger, it looks like he has spotted out a few of the players from the side of Kira right in front of them. Mr. Boro, he has the scope, he has the weapon, just needs to figure out where the player is out in the open. Talking about things in the open, it's going to be Shino spotting out the players from Satan. Frankie and his teammate just holding on to the sniper tower for now, but can they do it for a long time? And the canted sight. We rarely get to see that thing in action, but when we do, it's always fun.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And Satan maybe also spot the team 11, which is also a night fight. Can we see a fight? Because it's already 12 minutes and only one single player got killed. Total 16 teams are alive and we have 63 players there. And if we talk, NAVI killer got knocked out and finished by Satan. Frankie got a kill and they are playing very nicely. They just knocked the player and instantly finished them, because skill is important.
Yeah, kills are going to be important. I mean, securing that one kill point. Frankie, he has to help his teammate out. But now Navi, they're going to be in trouble. Wrath, he does know the positions because they have been spotted out for a long time. But it's that engagement to the sniper tower. It gives you so much cover. You can come up, you can shoot, you can fall back down and have a good time that way for as long as you can, for as long as you stay in the circle. All right, we did see Wolves Den make the water rotation. Now we are seeing A1 Esports do the same thing along with the players of high voltage. Both the teams are taking different trajectories, but it is going to be risky business. Just as the situations were for Wolves Den, you can go through those situations yourselves as well.
Yeah, Wolves Den maybe got sandwiches by 4 team, because A1 Esports are coming from beside them. PT, team 10 are there. Navi is also there, and team number 8, which is Saturn, are there. Maybe Wolves Den are going to be in a big trouble if they get a good fight and get escape from there. Maybe they're just going to get a high position points as well as skill point. And if we talk about team number 20, Kira, maybe they are having a fight between team number 14, and if we talk about team number 12 finally going from the taking a water path to move inside the zone.
Yeah, they are going to try and do that, but in the meanwhile, Wolf 6-9 is going to be dropped down as Ironic is going to find a trade for his teammate Frypan. The man who was last to die in the last game is going to be the first one to be taken out. A few of the first one, but Rafat, he has spotted out the players as well. 2 of the players from this squad number 10, Phantom, had been taken down, and now it's going to be their fight against the squad of Wolves Den, who have 3 people left. So 3 versus 2 situation. Rafat, he can be spotted out by Newt, holding out on the edge of these HUD, but the revives are going to come in. Frypan, he needs to be on his feet in a little while. Rafat goes for the pre-fire, tries to catch the feed underneath the HUD, and he does manage to connect, but the damage is not enough to get a knock for him. Newt, he's still trying to survive. Goes for the prone, which can be a bad decision, and there it is. The knock is going to come in, and so will the finish. He's not going to let this easy kill get away. Wolves Den, a fight which could have been theirs. They just messed up.
Yeah, that's true. And if we talk about Phantom Esports, they got 2nd position in the previous match, and they want more kills so that they can improve their placement and position points as well. Wolves are in a problematic situation. They left with only 2 players. They maybe have to fall back because more players are coming towards them. They need to have a calm and a peaceful game right now, because they lost 2 players in the early stages. And if we talk about one more player got knocked out by PT team 11, they are just playing recklessly, and team number 10 showing that why they are being on a very good game.
Yeah, they are going to have a good game for themselves. Sinister is not, though, but the players from Phantom, they are collecting a lot of kills. A1 Esports, they're gonna have to find a way to go back to the same form, to go back to the same method as the last match on Erangel. But Wolf69, the last man surviving for his team in a really, really dire situation, spot out Rafat, but he is gonna be taken out, and that is going to be the very first squad to be eliminated from this match of Sanhok.
Yeah, very sad for Wolfston because they are the first team who got eliminated. And if we talk about A1 Esports, they are again moving from the water side. They just got unsatisfied because they're not inside the zone and they just want to move inside the zone. And high voltage, this is a very favoring decision because they hold from the Camp Alpha Bridge from a long time and finally they're inside the zone without moving, and that's incredible from a high voltage side.
Yeah, high voltage just swam from the Camp Alpha Island towards the Ruins Island. While on the other side, A1 Esports, they made a long rotation and now they are making their way back. High voltage can actually figure this out and they can get these 3 kills for themselves if A1E is not careful enough. They are getting out of the boat, swimming over towards the beach shore area where the players from high voltage, they are going to be waiting along with the players of NAVI who are going to be on the southern side towards the Tambang area. And even they can cause some trouble if they decide to come in north and cause just be a little bit chaotic in this game for everyone else. Skillot, he is trying to see if he can spot out the players or the people from high voltage that are hiding in here, but alright, this is smart. They are just hiding behind the broken wall, trying to just allowing the players of A1 Esports to come on land so they can get the easy finish. Fear is going to be the first one to fall down. The second one is going to be a skill shot, I think, who's trying to find a way out of the water, takes a lot of damage, and yes, he is the second knock to come, and just one player surviving for A1 Esports. And I think high voltage, they are not going to let that player get away. They are going to go for the finish.
Obviously, because they need kills, and this is the squad who got 12 kills in the last game, and they want these kills to. They also want to that they just want to finish this team, and only one player is alive for team A1 Esports, and maybe this is not a good decision for A1 because maybe they just have to move from the ground side and they just took the water area, which is not favorable for them. And high voltage still trying to get a kill, and they're just finishing the knock player, and maybe they're just spotting the player which is left. Okay, they're moving inside the zone because they just want to move inside the zone, and which is also a good decision.
Yeah, it can be a good decision for them, but on the other side, 4 Archangels clutch. They go up against NAVI, and fights are happening everywhere in this game. But A1 Esports, the last surviving player, just swimming in the water, just trying to survive. And the circle has rotated over towards the ruins area. That's where majority of the chaos is going to lie towards the end, and 4 Archangels are right bang in the center of ruins. So they're going to be in a really good position for now until the team start closing in. Shino, he looks like he is just dead in a matter of seconds, and yes, he is, because Satan was apparently after his soul.
Yeah, that's true. Finally, Satan and NAVI took a fight, and NAVI got eliminated. Satan have 3 kills, and they have 4 players alive. And right now, T4, 1 player got eliminated, which is very bad for them because if we talk about Satan, they're playing very well. They know what to do, and they are inside the zone. 1 player is inside the zone, scouting and as well. And HARAME player got knocked down by play zone. Kira Dondini also got knocked down, and PT Lenny got finished.
Yeah, but Phantom, they are not looking to stop as Kira is going to be finished off by Frypan. Rafat was knocked down, but they are going to go for the revive as Dondai was knocked down as well. And this is going to be an easy revive, but Frypan, just to be safe, did smoke his teammate so that he is hidden and the shots do not connect on him, because you do see the squad of KS Invincibile in the distance as well, and even they can try and grab some kills for themselves. Kira, the last player surviving, is going to be Tokle. Alright, you have 2 players surviving from the squad of Kira, and that is actually some good news for these lads.
Yeah, obviously, and PT are in a very big problem because 1 more player got knocked out and they are outside the zone. They have to move inside the zone while taking a fight. And team number 20 are happy because they are getting some kills. They have 2 kills, but only 2 players are left for them. Let's see that this fight is going to be in favor of them, or team number 14 is going to get some kills.
I would actually want to see the perspective of 1971 Gladiators, who are still in Painan in the blue zone, and they they have two teams that they have to cross over. Look at this. Look at the city of Payanan. It's a beautiful city, but it's going to be a death zone soon, as Insane is going to be the last man surviving. He has the players lined up in front of him. The blue zone is going to help him out. He needs to... Oh, he does not have any first aids. Sinestro is just going to get out of here, and he's going to pick up more healing utility from his teammates and then see if he can find a way, if he can make his way in towards the circle. He is actually pretty much in luck because the circle moved a little bit in his direction, so it should be easier had the circle just moved on towards the northwest area.
Yeah, that's true. And only two teams are inside the zone. Team number 16 and team number 5 may be having a fight between them. Team number 5 have a great advantage because they are inside the zone. They also have a higher edge advantage as well. If team number 16 are running towards them, they have 2 kills, 4 men alive. They're getting some shots. Trigger are fighting for the placement point, and unfortunately, he got knocked out.
Yeah, just running out in the open. He is going to be taken down. And PTR Jax, he is also running out in the open. Yeah. We have seen a lot of players being punished for it, but Jax is going to have the advantage in the fact that his opponents, the people that were trying to kill him, they are going to be taking damage from the blue zone. In the meanwhile, RisingNepal, they have to fight PN Gaming, who have the high ground advantage. AFSEC, a few nades, a few utilities, and he can get an entire squad. He can kick an entire squad out of this game.
Yeah, that's true. They just throw a molly, but it may be not that far away. They didn't do a single damage to team number 5, and they're having a great height advantage. Height advantage also great for them. And team number 16, they are inside zone, but they have to take fight. And if we look at the zone, none of a team are inside the zone. And while I'm talking, one more team got eliminated.
Yeah, another team just taking an exit from this game, but we still have a lot more remaining. 1971 Gladiators is the squad to kick the bucket in this one, but as Phoenix was saying, no team is in the circle, and the circle is out in the open. It's going to be chaos in a matter of seconds. 15 seconds to be precise, as Rafat is trying to revive his teammate Jax, but they have to fight the last remaining players from the squad of Kira as well. The kill feed is not looking to stop, as KS Invincibile, even they are losing teammates left and right. And Rivals X, all right. Kure, he can go for the easy finish if he just spots out the... All right, there's the spot, and he's just going to have to be patient, wait for the player to come outside of the cover, and then just go for the finish. The Molotov's not going to go there, buddy.
Let's see. Okay, unfortunately, he mollied himself. This is going to be very unfortunate for him because he have only 1 first aid kit, 12 bandages, 3 painkillers. Let's see what is going to... I also have to move inside the zone while taking fight with team number 14. Team number 14 looking very nice. Only 1 player is knocked out. Maybe he can make it. Maybe they can revive them.
Yeah, they can go for the revive, but Mr. Boro, he's trying to go for the charge and goes for the finish, but Kure is going to finish him off instead. And that's an easy kill that he wraps up for himself. Now he needs to heal up and he needs to move inside the zone. Being right on the edge definitely gives him an advantage. But on the other side, there are teams that are trying to play the edge. Since this circle is out in the open, it can spell trouble for a lot of people. As the players of PN Gaming realize that Rivals X Noob, he knows where the shots came from. He knows where the sound of the shots came from. His armor is gone. His helmet is gone. He does not have any heals to protect him now. And that can cause a lot of chaos. A lot of fear can be instilled into the lad's heart. But he is inside the circle, so there's a plus side.
Yeah, that's also true. And if we talk about team number 16 and team number 5, they are fighting between them. Team number 16, 1 player is knocked out, but he come to revive his player. Team number 5, PN Ayush, didn't know that there's player inside. Maybe he know he's just trying to spot them or get them revived, and then he's going to finish them. He spot the player, shots them not, but only few shots connect to them and a little bit damage done to him.
Yeah, only a little damage being dished out. Ayush was so close to getting that finish, but it was a 1v2. By the time he adjusted his aim, he was already dead. He just did not know it. But RN, RisingNepal, Sonam, he is also charging. And High Voltage, they have somehow managed to keep a really good position for themselves in this game. Top 3 teams alive, the last 4 players, and RisingNepal, Sonam is going to be one of those. Does not have heals, only 3 bandages left, 50% health is going to be spotted out and taken out as well. High Voltage, last player surviving for this lad. A 1v1 situation. Who is going to get the victory? Kira, they still have 1 player. He somehow managed to make it in the top 2. Has 3 kills. Both the players have 3 kills for themselves. And it is going to be an intense 1v1 situation, but it has to be a patient one as well. Because now it's going to be time to just see where your opponent is. If you are over aggressive in this open area and you miss a shot, you can be taken down. But it feels like Kira knows where his opponent is.
Yeah, that's true. And both players have to move inside the zone. They're out of the zone and they also have to take the fight. This is a 1v1 situation between these 2 lads. Let's see who is going to win. And patience. Patience is the key to success.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be the key to success over here. But so will the circle, because Kira is actually really close to the circle. It is out in the open. On the other side, Chief from the side of High Voltage, he still has distance to go. So here comes the tick damage, and in a little while he's gonna have to start to make his way inside the circle. He does have some first aids. All right, he just had 1, and there it goes. Now he's out in the open. The damage has been done already. If he goes for the bandages or anything, he can be spotted out. Just a few pixels, and looks like that's going to be the end. Who got the chicken dinner on that one? That's going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
We did not actually get that.
That's also true. Let's see who's got the chicken dinner. I'm very excited because the 1v1 is also very interesting, and I'm just got amazed because they are moving. They don't have a high amount of health. One player thought that he's going to heal up and do the heal battle, but he thought that he have to move inside the zone and kill the player.
I mean, that's the only option he had because the blue zone was on him. He was taking the take damage. Had he just stayed there for a long time, he would have been finished off. And that is one thing. You could have denied the kill to your opponent as well. Just go with the second place. If you know your team has like 8 to 10 kills, you can just go and settle for the second place, because at the end of the day, it's not about getting a chicken dinner in one game. It's about having a consistent performance in 12 games. That's how you move on to the next stage. But this time around, the aggressive move that was made just to try and rush in and try and just fight the situation out. Shots were definitely fired from both of them, but who won? That is going to be a big question.
That is going to be a big question. And if we talk about the teams who got in the final, but I just want to show light on Team A1 Esports got eliminated in early stages. That is going to be very wrong decision for them because they didn't know what to do. But maybe let's hope for the next match they're going to do better.
Yeah, let's hope the next match goes better for them. But for now, let's have a look at the MVP from this game. And it's going to be Kira Kurkure is his name. I like the name. I mean, I like the thing that it's named after as well. Yeah, has 4 kills, 500 damage, 25 minute and 55 second survival time, and distance covered 6.18 kilometers.
That's also nice. And he got 4 kills. Maybe Kira got the chicken dinner and he got 400 damage. Yet he know what he going to do. He just moving inside the zone while prone, which is also nice damage. You don't have to stand up. Didn't want to give any position to your opponent, because if you know that you are going to have, you know, your gun power is quite good, then yeah, that's a good decision, and that's why they got the chicken dinner.
Yeah, it can be it, and it was a risky decision as well, just coming down to a 1v1 situation between 2 players from 2 different teams. And I agree with you. I think Kira actually did end up getting the chicken dinner in that one, because the health on the side of the other player was actually a little bit less, and if both of them start firing at the same time with the same weapon, the damage would have just finished off the other player first. But let's have a look at the standings from this game and see if Kira got the chicken dinner. Who was in second place? High Voltage with 8 kills, 22 points. RisingNepal is going to be on the third, 17 points coming in for them, and a decent performance, a lot of bounce back. So a lot of teams who got eliminated early on in the last game doing really well in this one.
Yeah, that's true. But if we talk about Phantom, they got 4th position, have 5 placement point with
Yes.
9 kills, total 14 points. This is a very nice game. They showed the momentum. They have the momentum and keep up the momentum. Very nice game from Phantom as well. And we talk about Rivals X. They have 7 placement point with 5 kill, 12 total point. PN Crew finally got 8 placement point, 5 kills and 13 point. And KS Invincibile, they got only 4 placement point with only 1 kill.
Yeah, the kill points are going to be a little less for KS Invincible, but the 5 points in total should give them a decent standings in our leaderboard. But moving down, the unfortunate incidents that happened, 1971 Gladiators, an early exit with no kills, A1 Esports, PWP Esports, and Wolves Den as well. So the bottom 4 teams, no kills to these lads, just the placement points. 2 for 1971 Gladiators and 1 point each for the 14th to 16th position teams.
Yeah, that's true. And if we talk about 1974 Gladiators, they do a very late rotation every single time. I don't know what they are thinking. Maybe they're just like A1 Esports. What A1 Esports did, they just moved from the water side towards the northern side, and then they again choose the water side. Maybe which is very unfavorable for them, and that's what 1974 Gladiators do. And that's why they just knocked outside the zone.
Yeah, they were stuck in Painan with 2 other teams and were trying to fight it out, but the fight got overextended. And you can't fight the blue zone for a really long time. You're going to start running out of healing utility for yourself. The bandages are going to go away, the first aids are going to go away, and you have to be really careful. So that's why teams have to figure out a way and have to figure out if this fight gets extended and the blue zone is going to come in for us, how do we plan to disengage? A1 Esports, they had that plan, but the execution of that plan was flawed. They ended up going towards the shore side where the players from high voltage were already waiting for them. But talking about waiting, we have been waiting for this, you have been waiting for that. It's time for the leaderboard and to see where the teams stand after 2 games. So Rivals X is going to be leading the charge with 42 points, and coming on the second position now is going to be Kira Peace Flow with 35 points. Phantom Esports, they have had consistent performances in both the games, 33 points to them.
That's true, and High Voltage is on 4th position with 33 points. Satan having 5th position with 23 points. A1 Esports fell down to 6th position with only 20 points. RisingNepal is having 7th position with 20 points, and 4 Archangels also fell down to 8th position with only 17 points.
Yeah, but these are the top 8s. After this, we're going to have a look at the next set of teams as well, and that is an intense one because the teams on the bottom half of the standings, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. They will have to find a way to have a good momentum going into the second set of games that they're going to be played, which are going to be the day after, because today it's Group A versus Group B. Tomorrow it's going to be Group C versus Group D. So these 2 groups are not going to be playing tomorrow. They have to get a good start in this PMCO 2020 fall split for themselves.
Yeah, that's true. And if we talk about Phantom, they show a consistent gameplay. But other than Satan, the team Satan also give a consistent play as well, because they know the placement points are important. That's why they're on the first chart of the position points all over. And even Esports did a wrong decision, but still they have a good amount of kills and placement from the earlier match. That's why they're on the first chart. And RisingNepal did a very great job because they just increased their placement point, got some kill point as well. That's why this has moved up and got the 7th position.
Yeah, but we'll have to see how far this team can go once they're done with their 12 games, because the semi-finals is going to be a little bit more intense than this, and it is going to be a long journey. But the 3rd game is going to be happening shortly. That's going to be played on the map of Miramar. But before that, we're going to head out for a short break. You guys just stay tuned and keep watching. We'll be right back. Hello everyone, and once again after the break, welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2020 Fall Split. My name is Varun Super Johnny John, and we are going to be heading to the game number 3, which is going to be played on the map of Miramar. And joining me back again, it's going to be the Papa Bear himself, Fixes.
Thank you so much, Johnny. But yes, Sanhok, that's a map where we saw the teams that were not that could not really perform in Erangel have finally stepped up. So this means the fields have been leveled up, and this is a time where Miramar can be a distinguishing factor between who stays on top.
Definitely, it can be a turning point for a lot of teams. It can be the gap builder that the teams on the top right now need to get a good lead and build a safety cushion for themselves. But it can also be the map where they end up messing up and the teams on the bottom catch up.
I mean, the game of Sanhok that I was, spectating on the sidelines, I saw the fights happening very, very late, quite contrary to how the map really works around. And fights were put up till the last moment, and that was a very good 1v1 fight where Kira definitely did grab the chicken dinner. But right now in Miramar, things are going to be different. We're going to see a lot of DMR actions, maybe some bold actions also coming in. But one thing for sure, teams have to be very careful of those ridges and hold on to the high ground.
Yeah, teams definitely have to hold on to the high ground, because as far as Miramar is concerned, it's all about those mid to long range battles with those DMRs, with those bold actions. And if that doesn't work out, you can always go for an assault rifle with a 6x if you find one. But what is going to happen, which weapons the teams would prefer, which locations the teams are going to drop down on, we are going to find out just in a little bit as the match is going to go live. But before that, which is the one team, Fixes from your side, that you think is right now just outclassing everyone?
I think a few teams like A1 Esports had a very good game in Erangel, but kind of fell short in Sanhok. But I did see a lot of potential in that particular team. PWP, in fact, is also a team that we have to watch out for, because, like you mentioned, their players are up in America right now. But this is the team that was formerly hype. You have SK49, you have De Leon. So a lot of the old guards have stepped into new shoes. So we have to see. Can they shroud themselves into their new orgs, or will they just crumble to the pressure?
Well, interesting thing about Hype is Hype used to be a really good team coming in from Nepal, but the players had to move abroad to pursue their educations, and while doing that, they are also playing in 3 different regions. So you're going to see Hype in North America, you're going to see the players play over here as well. And some of the players who moved on over to the other region, they're going to be playing in the wildcard region as well. So Hype is everywhere.
The hype is real.
Yeah, hype is real.
And certainly it is. I mean, I have seen these lads, but let's not wait any longer as the game has already begun. And let's head into the deserty map of Miramar, where we can see the flight path trajectory, this time from the southern side of Los Leones heading towards La Cabrera. So the eastern side is quite far-fetched for the teams who want to drop over there, but we'll have to see where these teams drop. What are the initial fights? Which team is going to Picado? Are there going to be clashes in San Martin? A lot of questions remains to be answered, and let's see what happens.
I mean, if we are patient enough, we are going to get the answer to those questions as the game keeps on moving forward. But for now, KS Invincibile, they are the first ones to leave the plane, and it looks like they are going to head towards the Chumasera area. And it is going to be an interesting drop location, because if the circle ends up moving away from them, the teams on those clustered parts of the map can cause a lot of trouble. Picaro is also one of the highly contested drop locations, along with the city of El Pozo, Hacienda del Patron, San Martin, and we are just waiting to see if we get those early clashes, the early game fight, just like in Erangel, just like in Sanhok, in Miramar as well. But we'll only find that out once the players touch ground.
Yes, certainly, and I can see a few teams heading over towards the Picado area, RisingNepal being one of them, and PWP right on the besides of I think RisingNepal. But there is yet another team that has dropped over there, and that is none other than Team NAVI. But look at the circle. This time it's going to its northern area. So teams that have dropped down at Hacienda del Patron, teams that have gone down to its San Martin, certainly have a good advantage than the others.
Yeah, they are gonna have to figure this out. But for now, Miramar, as we all know, in the early game stages, the map is super slow. Not really much happening. And if we can have the mini map in front of us, do I just see one player from the squad of HARAME, Nang, moving all the way away from his team, and he is on the northwestern side.
I believe, he is too much into the new changes that have been made to Miramar. So
Yeah.
he's gone to the area of ruins, and you have a whole city there. He's going to have all the loot that he can possibly have. But the thing that really surprises me is that the rest of his team is down at La Bendita.
Yeah.
So that's quite a distance, and I'm starting to wonder, will he ever make it to his teammates?
That's gonna be a big question. It's like that's the answer to the universe. Is he gonna make it to his teammates? Because almost
Is he
every
gonna
single
make it to the other side?
yeah, I guess that might as well just call La Benedita right now the dark side for Nang, because
The dark
there is
side.
every single team in between him and his teammates.
Yes, that's
Apart
it.
from two, I mean T4, they are all the way on towards Impala, so that's the only team that's not there.
But taking a look at Picado, we see two teams right now. That is RisingNepal and Team Navi. Navi, however, have decided for a 3-1 split maybe, because I can see Kill Me in the far off compounds. He is looting by himself. But right now, if you talk about teams positioning themselves, RisingNepal does have a good spot. They have held on to those red apartments, and on the contrary, Navi has held on to the highest building in Picado. And if they play their cards right, and even if Team Aaron decides to kill, and Navi have positioned their players well, I'm certain that this fight will turn into the favor of Team Navi.
Well, I completely agree with you. The fight can turn in their favor, but they are definitely going to have to push those advantages as well. But Kill Me, he is isolated from his teammate. The other players have been spotted out by the players of RisingNepal, and Swan Crazy has spotted out Shiro in the building that he is in.
Yes, and Zivan Crazy has spotted down the members of Team Navi. He certainly for sure knows that there is someone in those L buildings, but right now he is not sure as to where the others are. He has spotted one other player on that high ridge compound, but apart from that, he does not know the location of the other remaining two players. So right now, Team RisingNepal, they're taking things really slow. They're taking things really in a comfort zone, and they're just looting. But look at this team, Team High Voltage. They have impressed us so far. Having a very good outing in both the matches that we saw.
Yeah, they did have a good outing, but still, there is always room for improvement. And if you are getting those chicken dinners back to back, there is always going to be room for improvement in terms of efficiency. How efficient can you be with your movements, with your rotations, with your team fights inside of the game? And alright, so it looks like the other teammates from the squad of HARAME, they have gone for a split as well. The players have rotated inside the circle, while Nang is still on the northwestern area.
Yes, that he is, and we will have to see if whether he makes actually the route towards his teammates, whether he actually is able to rotate down south. But by the looks of it, I guess Team HARAME might be in some trouble, because you have Team PN waiting just on the northeastern side of where they are located right now. But PWP, I for sure know SK49, and we have all seen Dal Leon in action, but the other two players are relatively new in the squad. So I have to see as to how these two guys are going to perform as the league proceeds. But right now, IR2 trying to move around in his car, in his vehicle. But there you go, Season taking down IR2 and will instantly finish him up before he even realizes.
Yeah, that is going to be a fast one, but PWP, we're talking about these guys. So the last season we did see Bolihang and Chari as well, and they are really good assaulters and support players. They have what it takes to do the necessary things just for the sake of the team. But talking about doing the necessary things, one thing that you need to do no matter what is finish off your opponents, as we see PN Gaming Season being taken down by HARAME's Private.
I mean, you take one down for my team, he does return that favor in. But looking at things, how they have shaped up, Team Harame have lost down on IR2, so 2 players remain. You can put Nang out of the equation. I mean, I would not really count him right now unless and until he joins his teammates. But looking at the circle, we are looking towards a water treatment circle, or maybe on the northern side of San Martin. But right now, Private 7 is moving in his private buggy right now. And we will have to see as to how Harame is going to execute their Miramar strats, because this is something that I have never ever seen before.
Yeah, the massive 3-1 split, and these players are still somehow managing to make it work. Even, should we call it a 3-1 split, since all 4 of them are quite far apart from each other. But the teams have assembled around Hacienda del Patron and San Martin. You see the cluster forming slowly and steadily right bang in the center of the circle. So that does create a weird situation, because now anywhere the circle moves, if it's a drastic shift, the teams are going to move in together. That's going to make rotating out of this weird position troublesome for everyone. And talking about troublesome, the 4 Archangels, the close range fight coming in, and they get an easy kill on one of the players from Harame.
Yes, that they do, and you cannot, be isolated. You are going to be picked off one after the other. So right now, Team Harame really needs to consider their strats as to how they are going to actually implement that in a game which is of such high level. But talking about Team Phantom, this is one of the teams that has really impressed me a lot. And in front of them, we have the 4 Archangels, and they are just moving around, oblivious of the fact that there is someone who has already creeped down under them. And you can see 4 Hawks boom twice. He does not care about anything in this world. He's just dropped the smoke and he is busy looting.
Yeah, not a worry in the world, just is gonna lay out in the open and just grab whatever stuff he can find on the floor. But Aussie does spot out few of the players from the squad of A1 Esports. The distance is just too much. The shots are not gonna connect as A1 Esports find their way inside the circle. They are heading towards the power grid area. As you can see, PN Gaming, T4, and they are outside the circle as well. They will have to find a way inside while avoiding each other.
Yes, that they will have to, but we see a fight having been broken down, but the revs are going to come in as the circle slowly and steadily shrinks down towards San Martin. Now we will be seeing a lot of teams taking all those high ridge compounds, a few teams taking the high cliffs that we have on the left hand side, where Team Elementrix is really famous for. And talking about Team Elementrix, we are certain to see them during the finals.
Yeah, definitely we're going to see them in the finals. A big name coming in from Nepal, a big squad, and a squad of titans. In fact, the team has consistently performed every time they've made it to the South Asian stage, and have always held their heads up high. And it is incredible. The team is, they had a youngster on their side. On top, joining in from the side of TDP, and the performance from the entire squad, even with the new guy coming in, was pretty incredible. I'd love to see Elementrix and see what they bring to the table this time around. But talking about TDP, we're going to see them in action tomorrow as well.
Certainly, we are going to see them in action. Shagar coming in, who has had the experience of playing the Pro League. But, there's this one player from Elementrix, Poo Poo Man. As lovely as his name goes, I love the way he plays. He is an aggressive assaulter. And I've told this time and again, I have casted a lot of PUBG Mobile games in the Indian region. And what I've really, a differentiating factor, if you ask me, how do you feel is Nepal region different from Indian region? I believe there's a lot of untapped potential in the players. They are having a better, gun, in terms of gun skills. I somewhere feel that the Nepali players kind of outplay the Indian region players, provided they have proper rotations there. So, one thing where Nepali teams and the Bangladeshis somewhere lack is in the rotation. So if they get that right, and have proper scrimmage exposure, I'm pretty sure that this region has a bright future up ahead.
Yeah, the region definitely has a bright future, and that is why the PMCO is important, as we do see Mr. Boro just landing the entire spray on the player in front of him, has the M249 as well. The poetry of 100 bullets, as a friend likes to call it. But right now, we're going to have to see how many poems can this man narrate.
Does he have to? Because,
I guess, yeah.
Usually you don't tend to, shoot out all those 100 bullets at the same time. I can imagine the gun going berserk with its recoil. And yes, M249 definitely a very strong weapon. But, these players are kind of accustomed to the recoils coming in from M4. But there you go, Cooney taking down players of for Archangels. And, there are few kerfuffles going around. But Navi, there you go, Shino, he is still alive. Both of his teammates have been taken down. Escanor and Shino have to manage to get a few trade fire knocks, but there you go, boom twice. He is throwing all those grenades in, trying to get those two very important kills for himself.
Yeah, he's going to try and get those kills. I mean, might as well secure them and not let them get away, and that he does. But for Archangels, with the high ground advantage and the advantage of the fact that they are in the circle, they can pick up a lot of kills if they play their cards right. One kill has been secured from the side of Navi. The other lad is just bleeding out. Shino is also caught off guard, and Sonam just spent the entire spray of the Scarrel just trying to get him out. Escanor, he's going to be the last man surviving for his team. Has spotted out the player, runs out of ammo, goes for the reload, but now the fight is coming to him, and Crazy is just going to finish him off. Escanor, the last man for Navi, being taken down by the players of RisingNepal, and that spells the exit for Navi from this game.
I mean, that was a disaster coming in from Escanor, because he pretty much missed his entire spray. He had a good chance to, live and fight for a few more seconds. That was a good, easy knock for him. But it's just the pressure that is, surmounting these players. And they're having some troubles with their aiming. But, well, as the league progresses, they really need to catch up. But because if they do not, they're in a whole world of trouble. But speaking of trouble, we have Team T4M trying to push onto its members of Team Wolves right now. Insane. He has cooked up a grenade. He's going to low toss through it. Is that going to connect? No, it is not. Right now, Wolves has Newt in his fray. Insane. Going for another grenade. And that's another low toss coming in. Will it connect? No, it does not. Yet again. And Newt with his own grenade of himself kind of did manage to overcook it. But look at where the ADS is going. That's out of the place. That was bizarre as Newt gets taken down.
Newt just misjudged the position of Insane. He pulled it a little too right, but now Insane is going to be in trouble as he's going to be caught off guard and taken down and finished off. Newt is going to get the revive. T4M is going to be wiped out as Ironic with a nade is going to take down the last player. And Wolfsden just outplaying their opponents in just a matter of seconds.
Yes, and right now, RisingNepal, we can see them. They are marching in. They've already got 3 kills to their belt. Cooney, look at him. He is spotting down some, blown up vehicles out there, trying to spot if any enemies just around. But Leon getting a few kills for himself. But PN Sandesh really using that triple-seater bike. And, I'm really scared about this guy because, how unstable that bike goes in those ridges of Miramar. Because if a few ridges come ahead of him, then he is definitely going to, roll around and, just be in the middle of nowhere. And then there will be some team that will be waiting for him and will just blow him up. Easy.
Yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's what they are going to say after they blow him up.
Yep.
Well, we're going to have to see what happens to the lad. But for now, I think a few of the teams that are going to be in trouble, the team with the most weird situation to deal with is going to be the Squad of P, and the kill feed does show some action happening. But this team right here in front of us, High Voltage, they are looking to get out of this factory and find a good position for themselves. Sonam is so low. All right, High Voltage is going to be caught off guard by Avsec from PN Gaming. They pick off one, but now now the other players from the side of High Voltage, they are going to try and take revenge for their teammate. Ayush is going to be like, what are you even thinking? Goes for the close range fight, can get the knock, does get it, but is going to be traded out. Afsec, he just needs to get one kill, and that's going to mean the exit for High Voltage, but he needs to go in now as Havok on the backlines is going to go for the revive. He ducks down behind the race. Afsec is so low. The damage from the blue zone is going to kick in soon. He can go for the revive himself on Ayush, but he has to do it now. Havok with the nade. If this lands perfectly, it can be the end of PN Gaming. The teammates dying in front of them. These lads are definitely going to be in a lot of trouble. Afsec, just a couple of seconds, he would have been out, but he still manages to survive. And both of them are just trying to see if they can out-heal the person in front of them. Afsec, he just has one first aid, but he is using the bandages just to stay alive. Havok, he has 2 first aids and 5 bandages, so Havok is going to survive. He's going to outlive Afsec in a scenario of a heal battle. The nade being cooked, and is it going to land perfectly? That's going to be a big question. Havok is being very, very patient right now. The damage is not coming in at all. Afsec uses the last first aid. Havok uses his last one as well. They're going to have to go for the fight. Behind the smoke, Havok comes in, charging in. Afsec is going to spot him out. Has to go for the pre-fire and does that. Hits with 1 bullet. Goes for the finish, but he is going to lose his life as well, as the player in front of him did not have any healings available. But on the other side, A1 Esports, Sinister charges on Satan's Psycho and is going to get an easy kill.
Yes, and that was a good cover fire coming in from his teammate over there. And Team A1 Esports, they are playing absolutely out of their minds. But like we predicted earlier, the circle ended down onto its water treatment area. Kind of a pretty even shift, but Team PN, this time they are looking really, really promising. And they are racking up a lot of kills. But Satan's odd. He is throwing a few grenades out in front. Sinister definitely gets the knockout over here. But right now, Alan and Zod, they are pushing in. Zod spraying down onto it. The members of Team A1 Esports. Steel Shot still surviving. Somehow did manage to park his vehicle, but Shoykot getting eliminated from the circle. Alan taking down Steel Shot. Satin, Zod being a victim towards the play zone. But right now, Alan has deployed smokes everywhere. He will definitely want to revive his teammate, but then he realizes he's got no teammates.
Yeah, his teammates, they're gone. They're a thing of the past now. They don't exist in this future. But Alan, he does. He needs to survive. He needs to get those points for his team. And talking about points, the circle, it looks like it favors the squad of BTR entirely. And the Phantoms are going to be happy with that. The circle is centered around them. Talking about the teams that are not going to be in an advantage situation, PN Crew, they are going to be eliminated. The airdrop is going to come in with the MK14 and the level 3 kit. A1 Esports also takes an exit, an early one for the 2nd time in a row.
Yes, that they do, but we still have 10 teams remaining, 32 players alive. We are almost approaching towards the shrinkage of the 5th circle. But right now, you can see Team 971, Sinestro, that's quite a good name coming in there. But Team Phantom, they are the ones who are happy bunch of people over here, because they are dead smack center in the circle. They do not have to move in, and all the teams have to close in onto them. But Trigger taking down players of Team Kira. Jane has also been taken down as well, but Satan, he is going prowling on a few bullets over there. But right now, Sinestro with his Mini 14, he's trying to pick up a few shots, and Z1 Crazy, as we can see, has taken down Ironic of Team Wolves.
Yeah, but Satan Allen, even though he's the last man surviving, he has not given up yet. He was still trying to fight it out, taking down the players of PWP. But for how long can he do that? Because PWP, they were sort of... they were not paying attention to that one remaining player. And on the kill feed, if you notice, you see the players of HARAME falling down one after the other. Good thing is, Nang is back in the game. He's making his way in towards the circle as we speak.
Well, is he alive?
Yes,
oh my
he
goodness.
is.
I just saw that on the map feed. I'm surprised. Boy, oh boy, he is back. And, you know, if he gets the chicken dinner, then I'm certainly going to have a few lemons. You know, the challenge that you had with Ocean.
That's for the finals.
That's for the finals, but I'm going to do it today itself. You know, lemon for HARAME's Nang. I mean, you've got to give the ups to this guy. His entire team has been decimated, but he is still alive and kicking as he makes his way inside the circle. And even Private 7 is still alive. So, you know, Team HARAME actually has a chance to win. But boy, oh boy, I guess Private has been knocked down. Nang is definitely coming towards his teammate, but gets instantly blown away.
Yes, he was so lucky for like a few seconds. We were talking about the land, and I guess the teams heard it as well because he got spotted out in the open. Yeah, it's the caster's curse kicking in. He got spotted out, his vehicle got blown up, and so the reason I say he was lucky for a very few seconds is the man who was shooting at his vehicle was taken down, and it was the players from Rivals. And Rivals, they're going to have to find a way to move into the circle, and they're going to have to do it now because in just 20 seconds, the next blue zone is going to start to move in, and we're going to have a circle number 7.
Yes, that we are definitely, but Team Phantom, they do have the zone, and look at what is happening. Sinestro, he's oblivious of the fact that members of 4 Archangels have spotted him down. It's just a matter of a couple of seconds that they make that push happen. Blood Clutch, you can see he is firing on all cylinders towards a different direction over here, but there you go, Jax kind of kicking in, still having the compound. PUBG Mobile gods have blessed Team Phantom today itself, and in both the occasions in Erangel and Miramar, they have sat dead smack in the center of the circle, but we will have to see as to where the next shift goes.
Yeah, we'll have to see where the next shift goes. I mean, Phantom, they have already done their job in the top 6 right now, 18 players alive. But Sinestro, he needs to find a way to get a chicken dinner for his team. The players from 4 Archangels have spotted them out. Sinestro, he is being surrounded from all the directions. The teams on the backlines, there's one team immediately to their right-hand side. He spots out one and gets taken down instead. A bar from the flanking position from behind the smoke has managed to take down the player Sinestro from 1971 Gladiators. They do have the high ground, but the ridges do favor the team of 4 Archangels. Alright, the kills are being stolen as Phantom step in and one after the other start picking off the Gladiators.
And that they do with fashion, but 4 Archangels this time again with a 3-1 split, but someone is shooting from behind, and Abrar has been taken down by Trigger. Rivals also having a very good outing, taking the chicken dinner in the first, continuing that momentum, have made it into the top 5 this time, but Team 9071, Ryan and Rita, they are still alive. But Team Phantom, this is the team that is spreading havoc throughout the map as they sit in the center of the circle and are dishing out damage left, right and center.
Definitely dishing out all the damage that they can in all the different directions that they can see in. But Ryan from 1971 Gladiators, he needs to be careful. The last man surviving for his team almost went down to the blast, but goes down to the blue zone. The kill being taken away from whoever blew up that vehicle.
And right now, Frypan, my favorite player, he is still alive. He is using the haystacks for his advantage. But there you go. Trigger does know there is someone lurking behind him. And he is just waiting for the right moment. But there you 16, I think that's 6-9. Wolf 6-9. He is the solo survivor for his squad. And any moment, I think he will be taking Trigger down. He is an easy target. But then again, he needs to know when to shoot. Because one small mistake, if he does not complete him, his teammates from Rivals are definitely going to finish him off.
Definitely completely agree with that. But 4 Archangels on the other side, they're the ones who are being finished off. And Wolfsden 6-9, he's still hiding on the low ground, down to 4 teams, 11 players in this final moments of the match on Miramar. Lemmy, he's trying to spot the players from rival exit. Wolfsden 6-9 from behind. He spots out 2, gets 1, but can't get the other one. And now that is just 3 teams alive in this match. 4 Archangels, Phantoms, and Rivals X. So 2 teams with consistent good performance, Rivals X and Phantoms.
Look at the number of kills that Rivals have taken already. It's 13 and you still have a couple of more players remaining. And there you go, Trigger, you cannot stop this man. He is a machine. But Team Phantom, can they hold off against this push coming in by Team Rivals? There you go, the grenades are going in, the smokes have been deployed as Team Rivals will want to push on towards Team Phantom. Again, this is a 4v4 fight going on, but there is one casualty for Team Phantom as Team Rivals march down onto its them. But Rafat, his position can cause a lot of confusion amongst the players of Team Rivals. But can Team Rivals take the chicken dinner? What do you think, Johnny?
It is going to be a tough one, but they can definitely do it. They need to be careful. Closing things out is going to be a tough one as Nemesis is looking to charge in with his team. The circle is on both the teams. It's going to be an even fight. It's not like one team has an advantage. I mean, if you talk about it, Phantoms, they do have the advantage of being inside the compounds and having cover on them, but Rivals, they have the similar situation, the ridge in front of them. So both the teams can't really shoot at each other, and they are going to wait out till the next one. I think this is going to be a forced fight that's going to be forced by the zone.
I think that certainly will, and we might also get to witness a heat battle coming in from either of the sides. But you know, Team Rivals do have that surprising factor, where they can, you know, just go around. But no, they decide to go head on, and that goes against them as Lemmy takes down one, but gets traded off, and Rafat taking down by Mr. Barod, and with that, Jax taking a few knocks here and there. Team Phantom really held on to their horses, and Nemesis getting the last man being picked off, and with that we have a winner chicken dinner for Team Phantom.
I do not understand why Rivals X charged in like that. It was I usually say super aggressive. That was a hyper aggressive move. I mean, just putting in the smokes, just popping in. They did start the situation quite evenly with a 1-1 trade coming in from both the teams, but it did not end evenly as Nemesis was left in the backlines.
Absolutely, that was a huge blunder committed by Team Rivals, because you just threw two parts, and in those parts were all the troops. So one good grenade could have just blown away everyone. So that is really anticipated, that when you throw a smoke, obviously the enemy will predict that you're coming through it. And if they could have, you know, built a whole wall in front of them and maybe made the push later, which they certainly did not and had to pay off, because I love the way Team Phantom had positioned themselves. They were spread across, and that is how they took down the members of Team Rivals.
I mean, either they could have built up a path, but along with the trajectory that they actually did build, I think a few smokes just covering the key points where fights usually take place from, like the edges of the buildings, the edges of the broken wall. Those would have been pretty important. Either a smoke, either you deny the vision, or you just don't allow the player to come in there with a Molotov being thrown in that direction. And a Molotov in the window right front would have been great as well. Just allowing Rivals X to reach the compound first, because that is exactly what happened. They weren't even allowed to get in. Let's have a look at the MVP from this game as well and see which player is going to take it. It's going to be Jax with 3 kills, 625 damage, survival time of 25 minutes and 48 seconds, and distance covered of 6.18 kilometers.
Team Phantom had to, you know, did really get the graces of the circle in the 4th or 5th zone when it appeared. They were right dead smack in the center. They knew that did not have to move and just held on and let Team Rivals push. Initially, they had one of their players knocked out, but they really went in for the res. And the way Team Rivals pushed, that could have been, you know, better, but you know, they did not have a lot of time. They had to push at some other moment. However, I felt they could have pushed from different directions. They just made 2 lines and just pushed right along, and Team Phantom were well prepared for them and got the chicken dinner.
I completely agree with that. A push on either of the edges of the compound, be it the edge on the left, wherein you just had one player to look out for, or be it the edge on the right, wherein you knew 2 players were waiting for you. I mean, even if you did not know 2 players were there, unless the entire team is just stuck in one corner, they would have had the advantage, because Rivals X would have had the numbers. I mean, there are multiple theories, multiple possibilities in that fight, but what has happened has happened. We will move on to have a look at the match standings and see how many points this team is going to be taking from this one. Rivals X with 29 points. I guess they knew they had the kills to outscore Phantom already.
Absolutely. I mean, I was just going to get there. I mean, 15 kills, that's absurd. I mean,
Yeah.
they are devastating over here. And the first game chicken dinner, they're looking so strong. Phantom being consistent yet again. 8 kills, got the chicken dinner. Just 1 point shy from Team Rivals X. And Wolves Den, they are also having a decent outing. 8 kills for themselves and placing themselves on the 3rd position with 16 points.
Yeah, Wolves Den is going to be there, but moving down, Archangels, even though they finished 3rd, not enough kills, just 13 points to them. Satan has been consistent throughout the day. Not really performances that outshine or catch your attention, but that's their thing, because they have constantly been getting a 10, 11 points in the last 3 games, and that sort of a consistency is what you should be aiming for when you have a lot of games for yourselves. But moving on to the second half of the standings, we have the bottom finishing teams this time around: NAVI, T4M Official, and KS Invincibile.
I mean, there's one team, KOG, who is kind of playing synonymous to how Team Think Satan have been playing. They've always been consistent, getting all those points, and that's a good thing because if you are consistent, you are going to qualify in the next round. But taking a look, this time A1 Esports not having a very good outing, getting eliminated very early. So I think the last game that we have, that definitely has to be a game for them. Because what I've seen, their players are very well talented, but they could do better with the positioning. They've got that kill potential, but if they position themselves right, I think a chicken dinner is inevitable.
Yeah, the positioning is going to be important, be it inside the game or be it in the map in general, but that is going to come when we move on to Vikendi. Right now, you know what we are going to have a look at? We are going to be looking at the leaderboards as they stand, and it is not a surprise that Rivals X is on the 1st position.
Yes, and look at the number of kills. I mean, 3 games, 30 kills, averaging at around 10 kills per games. And the placement point coming in as well, 71 points. But Phantom Esports, they're not far behind, just 10 points, and they can instantly bounce on towards the 1st position. But Kira, Peace, Flow, this is one team that we have to, consider over here. They've had that one game in which they got the chicken dinner, but apart from that, they've not had the best of the performances in both the maps, but High Voltage, they're doing good as well. We can see a distinction between the points from number 2 and in between number 2 and 3.
Yeah, that's a massive drop, but also pointing out a few key things. Look at the point sort of structure for 4 Archangels. 23 placement points and just 7 kills in 3 games. The team is just hell-bent on not giving up and just surviving in general, if you're talking about it. But moving on to the next half of standing, we're going to see how the teams at the bottom are doing right now, wherein NAVI is just there on the 16th with 7 points, C4M Official 8, KS Invincibile 9, and also the big names as well: A1 Esports, PN Crew, 1971 Gladiators, and PWP Esports, all of them in the second half.
Yes, and a few surprising names. I mean, A1 Esports, and then we have PN Crew, then PWP Esports. But there is this one team, that 1971 Gladiators. Did you just notice 3 games have passed by, they just have that 1 kill?
Yeah, 3 games, just 1 kill, and this is the team that had an incredible performance during the PMCO Spring 2020. So just a massive surprise, I guess, for the fans and for myself as well, because I was expecting a lot from all 4 of these teams, be it PWP, be it 1971 Gladiators, be it PN Gaming. All of them had an incredible run in the PMCO 2020 Spring Split, and coming into fall, it feels like teams have sort of evolved in the sense wherein they are now doing the things that they were lacking back then. Back then, the team's aggression was sort of flustering up. They have fixed that, just timing their aggressions correctly. The rotations have been pretty much on point from them, but still that the performance that we were expecting from their side is just not there.
I think it's the hunger that is driving all these players on the top. obviously experience is a factor, but if you are really hungry for that, if you really want that, if you've really grinded yourself enough, then you're going to be at the number one spot. Likewise, team rivals, they have gotten 30 kills already, and being a new team, they're doing so well. This is a dream start for them. 15 kills and placing second, getting a chicken dinner in the first game. They could not ask for anything more.
Definitely, I agree. That is a dream start for any team. Just having a great day. 71 points already in 3 games. If they get a 30-point play in the last one, that's going to be 100 points.
Yes,
already. Yeah.
I mean, yes, and I will be shocked if they do that. If they are going to hit that 100 mark, I think that would be really, really huge coming in from that team. But yes, likewise, I did have a lot of expectations from Team PWP, especially having few players that have played the PMPL. Certainly, that could have been a driving force for them. They could not have really felt the heat, but right now they indeed are. They are having some very bad rotations during the fights. Players are not in sync, so they really need to fix their mess up, because after today, they will just have 8 more games remaining.
Yeah, just 8 more games remaining for these teams, and it's going to be an incredible one as well, because now they are going to be facing the teams in the future, the teams that play tomorrow. So tomorrow it's going to be Group C versus Group D, wherein we will have some intense matches, but intensity for this day is not over yet. We have the last map coming up after a short break, which is going to be played on Vikendi. So you guys just stay tuned and keep watching. We'll be right back. Hello everyone, and once again welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open 2020 Fall Split. My name is Varun Super Johnny John, and we're going to be heading into our match number 4, which is going to be played on the map of Vikendi. And joining me for this game, it's going to be no one other than Fixes, ladies and gentlemen. So, Vikendi, the icy Icelands.
Yes, certainly the icy tundra, as we love calling it. And in this game, we are going to look for where the first circle is going to go around. Because while we were casting Pakistan, that was an extreme circle. But right now, I am predicting a center-oriented circle. But we will have to see as the game commences where the teams will be dropping, what will their strategy be. Is this going to be a fast-paced Vikendi? Because in Pakistan, it was pretty fast. But right now, we are going to looking for a very strategical gameplay coming in from all these teams.
Well, we're going to have to see how this game actually goes. It's going to be live in just a matter of seconds. And talking about the circles, I want an edge circle. I want the circle to have like 60 to 50% water.
No, you can't have it all the time.
Why not?
We just casted an edge circle. I want to cast a center circle.
Edge circles are fun. Well, let's just find out where the circle is going to be, because the map is live and the trajectory is in front of us. It's starting from Peshkova, heading all the way towards Milnar.
Yes, and few teams that will be dropping off at Dobro Mesto will be, in troubled waters, as they will be, searching for all those vehicles. But right now, as you can see, KS Invincibile going to its strength, maybe? And we can see PWP making those rotations coming in. But PN, this is a team that we will have to see as to how they are going to perform in this particular match.
Definitely PN, A1 Esports, all the big names, PWP, 1971 Gladiators, all the big names from last time. They're going to have to pick up the pace. They are going to have to get those points for themselves in this one. Otherwise, Rivals X, they can just look to win this one as well and get the lead. And oh, Fixes, you got what you asked for. The circle is entirely on land, centered around Mount Kresnik and Podvosto.
Yes, and I think T4M is going to have a very, very good outing in this particular game if they hold on. But there you see, I think Team High Voltage also has a good chance, because we know one thing certain about the circle, that it takes those even shifts. So we have to see as the game progresses where the circles will be going to. But right now we have A1 Esports versus, I think, team number 5, just the team that we saw earlier, PN, going off against each other.
Yeah, a lot of drop locations clashing, and that can spell some trouble. PN Gaming versus A1 Esports. We wanted both these teams to step up their game, but one of them is going to take an exit as soon as it started. And T4M, their drop location clashing with NAVI. I think NAVI has had the unfortunity of their drop location always clashing with someone throughout the day.
They're just a bunch of unlucky team today, because, they will be relying as to when they will be going off against other groups. Maybe someone will not drop at their drop spot, but Navi has always been on the receiving half. But today, Steel Shot, he's got a lot to prove. And A1, like we said earlier, is a squad with a lot of potential, has got good gunslingers, but you need to position yourself very well. They are fighting at Cement Factory with Team PN, who have spread themselves across. And there you can see Sandesh trying to do some wonders with his Uzi. But right now, nothing has really changed. But Kill Me will definitely be knocked and finished by the members of Team PN.
Oh, man, he falls back and tries to be aggressive in that fight, but that was a bad decision, because everyone from T4M just ran him in his face and just finished him off. So Navi is down 2 players right now. Sandesh, he's trying to take a fight up against the players from A1 Esports. Just chased Sinister away, but can he go for the rundown? He has the perfect weapon for a close range combat, and even that with a holosight.
And that with a hollow side, and look at Sinister, he has to heal himself up. But Sandesh does acknowledge the fact that there is someone just below him who is using a bandage. So, the sound cues really coming into action, but Abhishek and Ayush have to close in. And this is a perfect opportunity. If Sandesh really uses that high ground advantage for himself and lets all the other players of his team try to block off the exit, then Steel Shot and Sinister are in for a lot of action right now.
Yeah, there is definitely going to be a lot of action because look at this, the players of A1 Esports, they have caught this one player from PN Gaming off guard. Steel Shot and Sinister on the ground floor, and Sandesh just trying to see if he can catch someone being over aggressive. Kabila, he has 2 players in his compound. He hears the footsteps, but I think Ayush and Avsek, the way they are positioning themselves, even they know where this lad is, and they are trying to see if they can pull something out of him, if they can force him to be aggressive, force him to be greedy, and then finish him off once he comes out.
Yes, absolutely. And Team PN, by the looks of it, Ayush and Abhishek, they are kind of just running around giving up their sound cues. But look at Shoykot and Kabila. They are patient. They are just waiting like a lion, emerging out from his den and just waiting to pounce on his enemies. But right now, Ayush and Abhishek, they're just chilling around. They're just, one is prone down, the other one's looking somewhere else. But A1 Esports, Shoykot, he is taking his own movements, trying to cover up different angles. But how long are they gonna do that? That's the question.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a big question, but right now we're going to have to see how this fight breaks out. These guys are just trying to wait each one out. They're just trying to see who makes the first mistake. So, in terms of boxing, it is just sizing up your opponent. You're just trying to have a mental fight with them and trying to see how tough they are, when do they mess up, how much pressure can they take, and both the teams are doing that against each other. But they have players split up as well, as you can see in the far off distance. Season from PN. He's just lying there, just trying to see if he can support his teammates in any
this
way.
can be a good crossfire, Johnny. This can be a good crossfire. They just, just Sinister has to come in between, and then he will be meeting his makers. You just have to play your cards right. And Sandesh does have that Uzi, which is a very, very good weapon in the close range. And talking about close range good weapons, you can never rule out MP5K, which is exclusive to this particular map. But right now, things are looking pretty still. This is kind of a stalemate that's going on over here.
Yeah, it is a stalemate indeed, but that's the thing. That's the beauty of it, because the teams are just trying to see if they can make the other team mess up. They are not intentionally looking to make a move on their own. They want the other person to make a move and then make a mistake on which these guys are going to capitalize. Like, look at this. A nade being thrown. A nade being faked, in fact, because that was a smoke, and that just made Sandesh rotate from there. Now his position on the high ground has been abandoned.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, you just threw out an enemy, and
Sandesh
has a better angle on them. But they are kind of prepared. They are now pre-firing the shots. But we will have to see as to whether Team A1 is going to actually commit. Because, no matter how much we love the strategical gameplays, I love this kind of action. Sandesh getting a single knock and will have to heal up. But wait, he does not have one.
Yeah, he does not have one. The Tommy gun is going to have to do it. He has knocked down one, but Steel Shot, he's hiding behind the metal load. Sandesh tried to fake the shots and tried to pull a reload from Steel Shot, but now he falls down. The SMG is going to have to do it. Steel Shot, he's pretty healthy. He should go for the heal. All right, no, he can't go for the heal as PN Season, the crossfire that we were talking about, is going to come in action. Season is going to be taken down as well, and Steel Shot is going to have to find a way to revive his teammate Sinister, who's slowly and steadily bleeding out right on top of his head. All right, he did come down.
Yes, and there you can see the revives are coming in, but Steel Shot prioritizing his own revive, but his position sound cues have been given up. Sandesh, look at this guy. He has spotted down Steel Shot, will be taking him down. So that's 2 loss for Team A1 Esports. I do not know what's wrong with these lads. These guys have got so much potential, but wait, where are his teammates? They are already having their own fight. I think maybe with the other 2 players out there in a different compound.
Yeah, they might just be out in the different compound, but fights are starting elsewhere where RisingNepal's one crazy is going to be taken out.
I see a first aid.
Yeah, they just left it there.
But why?
The weird decision making, man. We don't know what these lads are doing. They've been just standing and running around each other for a long time. Sinister and Steel Shot have finally been finished off. But now, how long do you think P and AFSEC Ayush can run around Skill Shot and Kabila?
I think for the next 30 minutes.
Not next 30 minutes. I mean, that depends on the circle as well. It has to be on there. But I think for the next 3 minutes at least.
Yeah, that is definitely a possibility. But Shoykot, again, being very patient. But right now, Mr. Burrow, like you can see, has taken down 2 players already, Alan and Zod. But look at Mr. Burrow, does blow down Psycho in the process. But there you go. The stalemate still going on. Shoykot, he's got a lot on his shoulders.
There are fights happening other directions on the map. And I think a lot of players have already been taken down, but this one between A1 Esports and PN Gaming, it's definitely more about the mind games.
Yes, certainly, and there's a crossfire being formed, but they're not moving. But there you can see Alan just, living up. But I guess there will be a push coming in from maybe NAVI or Rivals, the one who had blown up the vehicles. But there you see Wolf69 taking a good dig at the members of Team HARAME.
Yeah, they will have to find a way as to how to survive in this one. 54 players already being taken out, and Satan's 2 surviving players. Oh, they almost messed it up. They almost ran into someone else. You were saying about the squad of Harame. IR2 has been taken down by Assassin from High Voltage. Assassin just became an assassin. He ran in to finish him off. He could have been taken down. There were players from Harame right behind the broken wall.
And there you go, kills coming in left, right and center, but High Voltage. This team has been in good optimum action today. But right now, Nice Haven is making that push in. And my buddy Nang, he is still alive. And this time, Johnny, he is with his team. And we will just have to see as to how long is he able to hold himself off. As all the 4 members are swarming in. And he is just a lonely little guy waiting to meet his makers. But he does take down Assassin. But I think the revive are going to come in. Grenades are not being lobbed. The Molotov goes in there. Nang does want to put up a fight before he goes down, as he is going on the aggressive this time. Nades are being popped out. Nang is going in for the throw. There goes that throw. Will it blast? No, it does not. Will try to bait out a few smokes, and in the process, Team Harame's Nang, he is playing with his minds of his opponents. Can he manage to find yet another knock?
Yeah, just the last man surviving for his team again. But this time, instead of being on land, he's on the rooftop. He has the SMG in his hand. Those 2 players are on the first floor. Does he have a nade? If he has a nade and he throws it perfectly, see, right now he can take down 3 players. There was the opportunity, but Assassin out on the rooftop. He's going to go for the gunfights. And Nang, he can be in trouble. He knows one. He spots out all of them. The sound cues, the vision, fires the shot now. Drops the player down to around 50% health. But here comes the nade from Assassin, and Nang is going to be in trouble. He needs to find a way off this roof, or needs to find a way to engage in this fight. But it is a 1 versus 4 situation, and they run on top of him and finish him off. But A1 Esports on the other side. PN Gaming just charging on them and finish them off.
Yes, that happened, and I really could see what kind of absolute chaos was going on in that push. He just did not know where to shoot.
It took 4 minutes.
It did take 4 minutes. Finally, the push happened.
Yeah, the push happened 4 minutes later, and 2 knocks down. A1 Esports has been taken out of this game.
I think you are turning into a fortune teller.
I might be. I mean, we have been casting the entire World League with the actual fortune teller that is Ocean Sharma. Some of it does rub off on the people that are around, and I guess I'm the lucky one.
You are definitely one lucky man, my mate. But right now, 1971, this team, I mean, they have got some good position points. But somewhere down the line, they need to rack up a few kills. And to rack up a few kills, you need those mean weapons and groza.
From the rooftop.
Yes, from the rooftop. How do you get over here?
Nades, I guess. You
Nades?
need
That's
to
the
bring
old
it down.
school style. We used to throw those grenades, fall. But that was
you
certainly not
used
the
to
case.
throw and pray.
Yes.
Instead of spray and pray, you used to throw and pray.
I mean, I used to just waste 5 or 6 grenades of mine where I could possibly potentially wipe a whole squad and just getting that one weapon and a level 3 helmet and a vest.
Hey.
Now, I have to ask this question. Is it worth it?
A man's got to do what a man's got to do. You got to take the big chances to make the big plays with the big weapons. That's the grows up with the 4x and the level 3 kit as well.
Yes,
Free renewal. Yeah.
big weapons definitely being very handy over there for every single person playing in this particular lobby.
Yeah.
But taking a look at the circle, we can see a potential even shift like we spoke of earlier. But T4M, they're looking comfortable. But this is the team that has been making the news right now. Team Phantom, they are so alert, so alarming, and they know that there is a squad nearby towards them. They just have to play their cards right. Rafat having the cover of his vehicle. Let's see what he is up to.
Yeah, we are going to have to see what he is going to be up to, as Rafat is going to take his teammates out of this situation. They do have one team right next to them. Are they going for the fight? I think they have been engaged upon, and they have spotted out the players from T4M. T4M, they might... Alright, this is Wolf's Den now, in front of 4 Archangels, and boom twice with his sniper rifle. Can actually land a headshot and take someone out.
I mean, Wolf's Den, I mean, this should be their map, right? In the frozen tundras of Vikendi, and that is where the wolves prosper. They have to go like a pack of wolves that they are. But right now, 4 Archangels, we'll have to see as to what kind of performance that these lads are going to throw up at us. But, taking a look at the circle, it's taken a literal left shift, and center, right dead smack in the center, is Team Kira Power.
Yeah, being in the center in Vikendi definitely does put you at an advantage, because in the early stages, the circles do not have that massive of a shift. It's usually just centered around the previous circle. And that is why the sort of strategy that you see on Vikendi for most of the teams is going to be the early rotation, and then you just pick up a compound and just hold on to it for your dear life until the later stages. That's the 4th and the 5th circle, wherein you will be able to forced to move out. But even then, it's not that much.
Yes, that is definitely not that much, but I see the circle heading into its Mount Kresnik, and we will have to see as to if a squad goes on to the top of it, because if they do, they're going to have a massive advantage if the circle favors them. But right now, if you can see, Team Phantom really being very careful with every single movement that they're making, and they want to keep every single area covered, so they have split all the players. They're playing a 3-1 split, surprisingly. One of the players in a flanking position. I just hope he has some cover for himself. But right now he is pretty happy. They do not have to move so much inside the circle. They're almost 40 to 50% in the center of the circle. But right now, Team High Voltage, this is one of the very good teams that have been consistent so far. I've got a lot of expectations from this team.
Yep, me too. Have had amazing performances in the games that they have had. Even in this one, they're already starting out with 4 kills and have 1971 Gladiators right in front of them. In a good position in the circle as well, as you can see on the map. It looks like it is heading for the area of Mount Kresnik. And with the high ground, Team High Voltage can actually initiate a fight on the players from 1971 Gladiators, but the Gladiators are looking to be really careful, which is a good thing. They are not pushing over aggressively on a compound that is right in front of them. They are being careful. They're gonna try and fall back and wrap around in a huge arc and then see if anyone was in there or not, and then come back in to go get some loot if they can.
Absolutely, that is certainly what they are thinking to do, but will they be able to do? That is the question over here. But we see a lot of teams are playing on the edges this time. Team PN that just wiped out A1 Esports and taking them out of the game. They just got that 1 point. I mean, today was a rather disappointing outing overall. A lot of hope and a lot of fans coming in there in the support, but really could not live up to the name. Hoping that the next few days, when they will be going against teams of the different groups, they might have a better outing. But talking about better outing, this is a team that definitely needs to get some kills and have a decent outing. But right now you can see Ozzy being very, very precise with his G36C, takes down Sinestro and gets into cover at the right nick of time.
Yeah, the timing on that was pretty incredible. Otherwise, he would have been in so much trouble. And that could have resulted in his team being in trouble during the later stages, as we were talking about it. A numbers advantage during the final few fights, it is pretty important. But almost about to reach the 19-minute mark of this game, and in just 22 seconds, we are going to have the next circle. That's going to be the fifth one of this game. 1971 Gladiators, they're going to have find an entry point towards the Mount Kresnik area or the western side of Port Vostok. Most of the teams, majority of the teams are already in a really comfortable spot.
Majority of teams are, but when the next circle shows up, a lot of teams are going to be battling it out amongst each other just to survive. But right now, Team High Voltage, look at them. They took the Mount Kresnik earlier and now they are having a strategic advantage over 4 Archangels. The moment someone comes around, I'm pretty sure that NICE7 is going to be waiting down over there. NICE7 does spot down one member, takes him down. Abrar getting caught off positioned and almost, meeting his maker, gets finished off right off the bat. And there you go. The backup comes in. Assassin on the downward ridge. The grenades are being cooked up by NICE7 and Arc booms twice. He is in a whole world of trouble.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
He went boom once.
Yeah.
Boom twice, went boom once, and he is going to be knocked down. But now the finishes can come in from the players of High Voltage. As 4 Archangels, they're going to be in trouble. Just 2-man roster left. Clutch is going to throw a smoke around his teammate. Is going to try and protect him to his level best. But Assassin, he is slowly sneaking in along with Havoc. And an Assassin can create havoc, certainly. But Clutch, can you fight this one out right on the outer edge? He has a teammate right behind him. This can be a really good setup for a 1 versus 2 situation. But Clutch goes down. Assassin is really low. And here comes the entire squad. They finish them off. 4 Archangels are going to be taken out of this game as well by High Voltage. And it looks like this team is not going to stop. 8 kills now.
They are all charged up, like literally all charged up. And having had no casualties, taking the loot of 4 Archangels, this team is definitely looking promising. But the circle definitely has shifted way off from them. Now they have to make a rotation south, where Team PWP is waiting for them.
Yeah, they are waiting for them, but can they catch them off guard, or can they actually make this trap a successful one? I think that has to be the right question. But SK49 has an M16 in his hand, spots out the players of KS Invincibile. One guy, Void, has been taken down by the players of Wolves Den. Clutch also stepping into the action from the side of Wolves Den, goes for the finish on Void, but that is just going to create a little bit of trouble for KS Invincibles. Now they know where the squad of Wolves Den is. They are going on the high ground, but they need to be careful because High Voltage is there. And
they're gonna electrocute.
Yeah, exactly. They are gonna get electrocuted.
Yes, certainly they are. But right now, Team Rivals, this team has been so impressive. And my oh my, how do they protect the circles? Always sitting dead smack in the center. Right now, Team Wolves have to make a move in. But there you go, KS Invincibile takes down one of the players of Team High Voltage.
Yeah, High Voltage, even they can be cut down, I guess.
Yep.
And we're right now looking to enter the circle. We're just barely touching the edge. And remember what I said earlier during game number 1. That's when the teams are more vulnerable. You are more focused on making your way in rather than just watching your surroundings. And that can be really impactful in a fight. Talking about impact, Wolf69, the man who was responsible for getting a lot of kills for his team earlier on in the game, is going to be in trouble. But Kira Kurkure is going to be taken down. Don Dai is going to try and fight this one out for his team. But 2 people being finished off is going to make sure that the squad of Kira is not going to be at 100% potential. Wolves then, their potential in this game is going to be turned down to 0 as they take an exit.
Yes, certainly they do, and I guess I think Team Kira did not have enough insulation to stop that high voltage push coming in from Team High Voltage. I mean, you see what I did there, right? But, well, Team Satan does have those little shacks for themselves as KS Invincibile try to go on and make that push happen. Legend taking down Frankie. Alan does put up a good show and has knocked down C Minor. But will he survive? No, he does not, as KS Invincibile take a maneuvering right and just, outplay him. And C Minor is definitely gonna get that revive.
That was an incredible outplay. They just ran around the tents and finished him off. But on the other side, I mean, it was
I love
a
the
surprise.
smokes. You love the smokes?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. They were incredible. I mean, it was important for them to line those up so that they can get the entry to this campsite. But now the question now becomes is, since KS Invincible, they have this open area in front of them, they're going to have to charge through to get to a good point in the circle. Circle is out in the open as well. The teams that are already in there will definitely have found some cover, and now their only job is just going to be to watch around for the teams to come in and then wait them out.
Yes, that certainly they would. But right now, we can see the circle taking a curveball right down to the southwestern side. And Team NAVI, surprisingly, they are still alive. Even members of Team RisingNepal. This is just one guy I see, Cooney, over there. But Team Phantom, this time, they are having a rather slow outing. They are going in for the position. And they are still in the circle. But Team Rivals, just look at them. They are so dominating as ever, and KS Invincible had 3 bad games and finally are stepping up. But PWP, same goes for themselves. 6 kills already.
Yes, 6 kills already, and that is just going to help them out if they get the chicken dinner in this one. But for now, PWP Dalion, I guess they are just making up for the earlier performances, just increasing the number of kills as we... Oh, I almost thought he's going to fall down, but there's like ground behind him as well. And PWP, they need to confirm the kills in front of them. That is the squad of T4M.
But did he spot down members of 1971 Gladiators? Because I did see a player coming in and he just barely missed out. Certainly the pressure has started surmounting these players. But PWP Boli Hang, this is a new player in the circuit. And we will have to see as to what he has to offer. Kira Jain being taken down from the zone. And PN's Ayush falling down to Alu YT. But C Minor, he does not intend to stop as he has eliminated the last member of RisingNepal, that is Cooney. But there you go, Dondai taking those 2 beautiful, amazing knocks before getting taken down himself. But the damage has been done.
Yeah, the damage has been done. The last man surviving for his team is going to be taken out. High Voltage also takes an exit, but Kira just a couple of seconds earlier, they are going to have 1 point extra, but PWP Dalion, they are looking to charge in. They have to find a way to get into the blue zone, to the safe zone. In fact, Chari, he's quite low. They took enough damage from the blue zone that they can't fight this fight at the full potential, and Phantom is taking advantage of it. One after the other, the players from PWP are falling down. Boliang is the last man surviving, as he is going to get charged upon and finished off by the players of Phantom.
Yes, and there you see some trade-offs coming in there, but that was not enough. And the Phantom Assassins, they will have a good show this game as well. But look at Sondesh. I love this guy, as his name, is a suite itself, and that's one of my favorites. And right now, Navi's Wraith does take down KS Invincible's C Minor, a guy that was having a rather good outing. But there you go, Phantom Rafat, he is also dealing havoc everywhere. But Navi's players, they are still inside the circle, but they've got enemies right on their backs. And KS Invincible, if they manage to spot him down and if they manage to take him down, that would be really, really harsh for them. But Sondesh, I think he's been spotted out. A few shots were dealt by Rafat, but I guess it hit his pan, maybe?
Might have, but the good thing is he's already among the flowers, so there is no reason to move the crate at all. The flowers are already going to be where he's going to be taken out. But Jax now just going on a domination. 3 kills confirmed for the lad, but as I say that, he's going to be taken down. He's going to be knocked out by the players of Navi, and it is Escanor who comes into the action. But KS Invincibles, they are still surviving. The Molotovs being thrown by C Minor, just trying to sing the tunes of destruction on the other side. His teammates, they're trying to support him. They still have those tiny meters to travel into the circle. Otherwise, Navi can just gatekeep them and not allow them the safety of the play zone.
But that is also a possibility, and what the other situation can be is they can have one of the players from Team Rivals being the bait out there, or maybe one of the players trying to provide a support fire, and the rest of the players just ram in right straight on the face of the members of Team Navi. But look at KS Invincibile, they are having a very good outing this time, and Rafat, few shots were taken down onto him, but nothing really much to worry about, as Rivals, they are struggling to get inside the circle, and Rat has spotted Trigger out. Rat, any moment, if one good grenade goes onto its there, and Trigger will be helpless. But there you see, there is another team that has come just right behind them, and now Navi will have to decide which fight they have to choose.
Yes, Navi is gonna have to think about it, because I do see the openings for them, and they will have to create another one just to move inside the zone. For now, the other teams, especially Phantom, is doing most of the work for Navi, just taking the fights on the high ground against the teams of Rivals X and on the flank as well. But KS Invincibile, they can have a really good position. They just need to take down the players from Phantom, who for now seems like to have the perfect position to basically create trouble for everyone. And that is what I was talking about. C Minor just being taken down by Jax for the millisecond he peeked his head out for.
Yes, and Nemesis does take down Rafat, and this is trouble in paradise for Team Phantom, because they are getting pinned down from literally every side, from left, right, center, everywhere. Ehsan does manage to, spray out, but Frypan, this guy is invincible, not a single bullet even touching him. But as the circle starts closing in, Ehsan has to do something, because Mr. Boro has taken down Frypan, and this is the perfect opportunity when Team Phantom is vulnerable, and if he does manage to knock down Jax, then they are going to be in a whole world of trouble. But Escanor, he's got things up in his mind, and he's gonna spray it down towards Ehsan. Ehsan did have the M249, but my oh my, does it fall in front of a little weapon like Uzi.
Yeah, a little weapon with a really incredible rate of fire. And PTR, Phantom Jax is going to be taken down as well. Rivals X, Nemesis from behind the lines. He takes a lot of damage, looking in the wrong direction, buddy. And he is going to be punished for that by Wrath from Navi. Rafat is trying to charge in. Phantoms are going to be finished off. Navi, the victory is close. They can grab this one. Wrath just needs to jump over the wall, barely inside the zone. He needs to revive his teammate. It is a 1 versus 2 situation. Wrath has made his way inside the zone. Even the players from Rivals are going for the heal battle. One lad is knocked down. The other one is going for a heal battle. Escanor firing in the wrong direction. It is towards his left side. He does not know that. He's just trying to see if he can get the chicken dinner just by staring at a wall. And he does. Stared at the wall to victory.
Yes, I mean, that's as simple as it can get.
Yes.
You just need to stay behind the wall. Do not go beyond the wall. And that is what, Jon Snow did not do.
He did not stay behind the wall.
He went in, and that's why he died.
I haven't watched that series, but this one I did watch, and it was an incredible one indeed. Finally, the players of Navi. We were talking about this. This team had the most unfortunate thing happen to them throughout the day. Every single map they played, someone was dropping in with them and was giving them trouble early on. This time as well. But they fought through it. They survived, and they prevailed in the very last match that was on Vikendi and got themselves a chicken dinner.
Yes, absolutely. But, I feel sad for the boys from Team Phantom. They were kind of pinched down from everywhere. Again, Invincibile taking a few shots on them. Team Navi also spotting them out. Team Rivals also, they had also spotted them out. They got absolutely pinched from every single direction. They were looking strong initially, had got a few kills up their belt. But apart from that, Team Rivals, this is a team that is absolutely looking dominating. Navi definitely got the chicken dinner, but Team Rivals, I'm pretty sure they've got the kills.
Yeah, they definitely have the kills as well. I mean, we're going to have to see that once we move on to the standings of this game. But before that, I think it is time to see it is going to be time to see the MVP from this match. And even that is going to be an interesting one. It is Assassin from High Voltage.
My oh my, I'm not surprised. This guy was definitely being an assassin. 5 kills, 717 damage, and 24 minutes of survival time. And he's covered 6 kilometers in average. I think this is an average figure. You know, all the teams that are getting the MVP, all the players, they're just covering that 6 kilometers. So if you cover 6 kilometers, then you're bound to win.
I guess so. And it has been 618 for a while now, so
Yes,
that
certainly.
seems to be the lucky number just to be the MVP. Might not win the game,
Yeah.
but you will become the MVP.
Yep, that you will definitely be.
Does it work if it's like a third decimal point as well?
I mean, we don't know. And I suck at maths.
I mean,
really bad.
yeah, we only have one maths teacher among us,
Yes.
and we might take his help as well. We are going to calculate and figure things out. But talking about calculations, that also happens when we look at the overall, not the overall standing, the math standings first, because that's where you get to see how many kills and how many placement points teams picked up from this game. Alright, Navi just has 3 kills, but the chicken dinner definitely helps. 23 points to them. Phantom on the other hand, 10 placement points, 10 kills, 20 in total.
Look at high voltage down there,
2
mate.
for
I mean,
10, yeah.
they've got 2 placement points, but have managed 10 kills. And I think the MVP justifies there as to why it came down to him. But Team Phantom, that was also a very good outing from them. But Rivals X definitely being the most consistent team throughout all the 4 games, having a very good performance. PWP Esports, we did see a good resurgence coming in from them. 8 kills this time, placing 4th. That's a good outing.
That is definitely a good outing for them, but these are just top 8 teams fixes. We need to have a look at the bottom as well and see which was the team that messed up this time around, and it is A1 Esports again. They have to buck up and just come back with the same sort of performances that we saw them from spring. But along with them, it's going to be 4 Archangels, RisingNepal, A1 Esports, and HARAME. All of these teams taking an exit from this game without any kills. And A1 Esports, especially the early collision happening, that was an unfortunate thing. But I think just giving their opponents too much time. At one point, you need to go for the proactive plays. You need to use the utility that you had. At one point, they did do that. They tried to fake the smokes and did in fact get a rotation as well from the players of PN Gaming, but you need to convert those as well.
Certainly, but there's that one team that is in a whole world of trouble. Has to be 1971. Across the 4 games that they have played, I still stand by my statement. They just got 1 kill.
Well, let's see how they performed in this one.
0 kills this time.
Yeah.
So I said 4 games, 1 kill.
You're ruining the suspense over here. But we will be looking at the overall standings as well, because even though Fixes over here ruined the storyline of 1971 Gladiators, there are still other teams, and I would have loved to see Rivals X hit the 100-point mark, but 90 it is for day number 1.
Yes, certainly. But Phantom Esports, look at them, just behind their tail, and high voltage, courtesy to a very good performance out there. They've not got a single chicken dinner, but they're sitting with 22 kills already. And okay, that's a massive difference, 47 and 81.
That's a big drop. That just basically secures Rivals X and Phantom Esports. It gives them opportunity to mess up in like 3 games.
No,
they get
2.
I think 3, because for 2 games, for a team to catch up to them in 2 games, it has to be 2 back-to-back chicken dinners by anyone within like 2 or 3 spaces behind them.
I mean, that's what TSM Entity thought during the Pro League, and they lost to Galaxy Racers. So, you know, you can never ever think to slack off in your games. You have to be consistent throughout. And talking about consistency, this is something that we have not seen from these teams on the bottom half of the table. And there you go, 1971 Gladiators, they really need to buckle up, because like you said, you loved them the last time you casted, and something is terribly wrong with this team right now.
Yes, something definitely seems off about this squad right now, the way they are playing, but this was just their day number 1 as well, just the first 4 games. They still have 8 more to go, and 8 games can be enough if you can get a consistent enough performance out from your side, and it is definitely going to be enough for a comeback as well, because that happened the last time. We do see teams make those historic comebacks. I mean, that is the ultimate Cinderella story.
Yes, that definitely was one for the Galaxy Racers Cells that we saw going into the World League and also playing their hearts out. And yes, like we said earlier, you have to be consistent. Does not matter if you get those chicken dinners in, but you need to at least get, you know, all those 10 points, maybe a 5th, 6th positioning, maybe 4, 5 kills. That is enough. That is just all you need. As easy as it might seem when you are hearing, it's very difficult when you're actually in the battlegrounds.
Yeah, being in the battleground is in itself, there is a lot of pressure associated with it. Today, the pressure was felt by the teams from Group A and B. Tomorrow, it's going to be teams from Groups C and D, because we are done for today. We're going to be back tomorrow at the same time and on the same YouTube channel as well. My name is Warren Super Johnny John, being joined by Fixes. We're going to catch you tomorrow. Take care and good night.